wings, so I'll just put him away for now.
Mm-hmm.
He puts his wings away.
He's going to know, though, if you put your wings away.
Better than him seeing it. He says it's either he knows or he doesn't know how bad it is.
He's going to assume the worst, your wings are away.
He's gonna see the worst anyway. I'll keep him out. I'll keep him in.
Kick them out!
Oh.
Transparency is key, and I can watch him, it's fine.
Okay. He pulls out his wings.
It's not going to beat you up.
I know, but I just don't want him to beat so long.
And he's not. I think I already got that out of the system. They go over to where Damaris is at Anna's.
You go to Anna's house.
No.
You see Anna open the door and she's like she looks at y'all and she's like talking party?
Yeah, I wanted to check in on Damaris.
Well, he's sitting on the couch right there. Ignore the huge hole in the wall right there. Working on that.
Okay. She sits down.
You get to the couch, you see Damaris, he looks at you and Mikhail.
Hey, Damaris.
Hey.
How are you?
He thinks and he says, angry.
At?
Zoo.
Still?
Yes.
Oh. So sharp, so you get it.
I felt the realms open up.
Yeah, I told them to.
Interesting.
Begrudgingly, but yeah.
He just kind of, he says, okay, that's a good idea.
God, one almost thinks so.
More power to play with. For us.
So, therapy. Have we thought about it? Have we thought of, a therapist?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm taking up the mantle.
Blinks. Slowly. Like a lizard.
Because this isn't working. So, Damaris?
Yes.
Let's talk it out.
Talk. As you see him slowly move his eyes towards Mikhail. He hyperfixates on his wings.
Let's talk about your first thought.
First thought.
Say it. Don't do your first
Did
thought.
Zul do that? And he points towards Mikhail's wings. Mikhail's like, no, I'm kind of more doing it to myself. Like I always am. He blinks slowly. But Zul's the cause. Mikhail's like, well, I'm thinking a lot about me and Zul's relationship and how I feel hurt and betrayed by his actions. And Mars like, okay, I see. I am too. Anna face palms.
I'm glad you're thinking about how you're feeling hurt and betrayed by his actions, Damaris.
He's still staring at Mikhail's wings.
Okay. Tension's thick.
Yeah, no, you can see the tension as he stares at.
So I'm gonna change the subject for right now.
He looks at you.
We're gonna have a meeting with the Liberators in probably tonight sometime. Because as stated briefly previously, Professor White on the previous timeline was a villain of the Liberators.
Yes.
and was basically like the big bad and did a lot of really fucked up evil shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like experimented on them. And for example, a good example is on the previous timeline when I met King, he couldn't be charmed because he had a symbol of sorts.
King says it was a large chemical burn across my body that was from my final fight from Professor White.
Yeah. And in that timeline, Kane was the only one that survived Professor White of the Liberators.
I see, so that she needs to die.
Yeah.
I think in a very gruesome death of her own making. He nods to himself.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
Vat of acid.
She did not die by the Liberators, though, last timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Kane, with Mikkel's help, are the ones that killed her.
I see. I'd be frustrated too if she was back again.
The problem is, though, that given she kind of went crazy on the last timeline, like, worked up to crazy. She had a lot of, chemical burns on the previous timeline done by the Liberators. She just got a chemical burn identical to the one that she got from the Liberators on the first timeline by Zor. So, that makes me believe that we are, in a sense, the Liberators of this timeline to her.
That also means we can also, knowing what she was like, possibly slow her descent to chaos.
Yes. The problem is that since the targets are different other than Kane, there's not much we can really predict when it comes to her. We don't know what has changed with her for this timeline. But
You see Mars look at Kane.
no.
That's right, you.
I know what thought you just had, but no.
I wasn't do anything.
What was the thought?
I just think Kane should talk about it.
I think that is business between me and my husband.
But it's gonna affect the whole group.
There's a lot of things that could help the group. You wanna hear some of them?
Sure.
You not being murder, psycho, hobo, crazy killer.
Hobo
Okay?
crazy. Murder hobo.
That would be helpful.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Yeah. There's a good one. So instead of worrying about what Kane knows about Professor White and his experiences with Professor White, maybe you should focus more on the making sure you're not a crazy murder hobo
No, this is
that punches holes in walls. Or blasts holes in walls.
as long as Zul shows himself to be redeemable, then I will be fine.
He will.
Looks at McKill's wings.
He will. It was a mistake.
Yes.
Now, it was a fucked up mistake that's kind of thrown things off track a bit. But we can manage it. Because at least if Alexius was being honest and he wants to target me, we at least know who he's going to target. And we can use that to our advantage. Which leads me to my next point. You guys have to act like I'm the leader of the group.
He blinks a few times. He doesn't answer yet. Okay, or no, okay.
It's a yes. It's an okay. What?
He does not say yes or no.
What?
Nothing.
No, you have a thought. Say it.
I have neither a okay or not okay.
Why? Why? Why don't you have either?
Good plan, but also fatal plan.
Why is it fatal?
Well, it's fatal to you.
It's not fatal to me. He's not gonna kill me.
to kill you.
The fuck does that mean, Damaris?
Do other things.
Like what?
Like strip you of your power. 1. Control you. 2.
Would he?
Yeah. If I was a evil researcher trying to experiment on the leader, I'd do everything possible.
I can handle it.
I'm sure you can.
It's this or we don't know who he's targeting and what he's planning next. That's why.
He says, I'm sure you can handle it. I know that's why you said that. No.
But you can't agree?
I never said that we couldn't handle that.
What do you mean? What?
I mean that. He says you can handle it,
Yeah?
but I don't know if we could handle that.
Handle what?
He blinks.
She blinks back.
You getting hurt by Alexius.
What do you mean?
Well, my analysis proves that any loved one that gets hurt or is in pain, everyone soon follows after. Per case, you with Zul and Mikkel with Zul.
Okay, then I just won't get hurt.
I consider that a low possibility, considering how Alexius is.
Well, then I'll prove you wrong.
And he says, just be careful.
I am being as careful as I can. I'd rather know that he was targeting me. Or if this was another case, if it was you who Zul said and not my name. I would rather know that he was targeting you so we could try and mediate and prevent it than vice versa.
That's why I also think it's a good idea. That's why I said it's not a bad idea. Doris says, I'm thinking logically, but I can't help but also have my emotions get in the way of thinking logically.
What do you think, Anna?
Anna's like, it's a tough decision. Let me just say that.
It's not a tough decision. It's not a choice anymore because Zul ruined it.
Anna says, yeah, that's what sucks, she says. Anna says, no matter what, it's going to suck. But we just gotta deal with it as it comes.
Which is why I'm saying, at the very least, we can try and use it to our advantage to some extent.
And Anna nods, and she's like, I do agree with you, girl.
And that's the only way to do it for right now. Is make him think that I am the leader. That is the way to do it right now.
He nods, she nods, and she's like, girl, I'm on your page. I am. Now, that's not gonna thwart me from still having the sucky feeling in my gut. But
I have a lot of sucky feelings in my gut.
I know. We all do right now, Anna says. We all have a lot of sucky feelings in our gut.
To be fair, you know, Alexius could have lied. Maybe he's not going to target me.
Mara says, I wouldn't know if it was a lie or not. He's either direct or not. He never chooses between the two. Mara's like, but I'm thinking logically. Yes, logically.
Yeah, but he's not fully logical either.
No. So it's like, no. He only did this because his lab got destroyed.
Yeah, because he was pressed.
He's letting his emotions get in the way. Because he's not perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to let my emotions get away with my logics.
Okay. Used for right now, temporarily, for this situation, or whatever move he's going to make next, temporarily, you guys need to act like I'm the leader.
Mars says, okay.
Right now. For right now. For whatever he's doing next, we have to act like that.
And Mars says, that'll be quite easy.
What do you mean that'll be easy? How would that be easy?
It'll be easy.
How?
Well, you keep the group together, and then control can calm us. So, it's easy to play into that.
I don't like you learning emotions.
Without any emotions?
Huh?
What did you say?
I don't like you learning emotions.
I can stop.
No, you can't. You're just smart with them.
You told me to think through them, so I didn't think through them.
I know, I'm proud of you. No, I still need to talk to my mom. I'm sure she's feeling great this morning.
Mars just blinks at you. And you see Damaris also look at Kane.
What? Why are you looking at my husband?
I want to hear more of these stories about Professor White. I must know everything about her.
Well, you want to know what's crazy about that?
What?
No.
Kane?
No.
Kane says no. Following along with you, he's like,
Kane will talk to me,
mm-hmm.
and I'll let you guys know what I think is relevant.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I gave you a good
so
bit already.
He's so fine. I
Gave
love
you a good bit already. You could also just talk to Tisha. She remembers her.
But Kane's the one who survived.
Do you understand?
He's so...
Okay, yes.
Kane's like, oh, well.
Kane is the one who survived, but Tisha still had to deal with Professor White for the same amount of time as Kane, minus the 5 extra minutes Kane was alive without them.
That's true. But Kane's the closest resource.
I'm going... Well, Tisha's gonna be here tonight. Go talk to her tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's such a researcher. I love this guy.
Gosh. I swear to God. Anything else that you're feeling tomorrow? Are you feeling any better?
What's that thing people say where sometimes things happen and makes your progress backtrack? I think that's what happened. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I'm still very quite, what do they call it? Sad or frustrated? Not too sure.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Long as when you're feeling super duper angry, instead of blowing up walls, you talk about it.
Yes, talk.
So that way you can understand it, because anger is a
Maleffect.
symptom.
Sorry, maleffect is what gets me.
Symptom.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to go prepare for the meeting with the Liberators.
Okay, you're gonna talk to your mom still? Okay.
Don't give me that face.
Tomorrow's giving me the most neutralist face ever. Anyway, I'm going to grab Mikhail now. You're like, what?
You have to promise me something when you do.
What? As he's like approaching Mikhail.
1.
Hmm?
No hitting Zool.
Mm-hmm.
Promise.
I promise.
2. Watch your words with Mikhail. No being not nice. Be nice because he's sad right now. Okay? He doesn't need you to make him sadder.
I can see that.
Okay. Promise.
I promise.
Because if he starts getting sadder, I'm going to come bite you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna fight him for being sadder over something that you say that you don't mean.
Okay.
I don't want to fight my brothers right now. Not when I'm avoiding my mother, and not when I'm trying to plan the liberations.
And Anna tells you, like, I'll keep an eye on them.
Thank you.
I was like, I got them.
She leaves.
Kel's like, oh, help me. Wait, don't leave me with him.
Good luck.
No! Help! Kane follows you out.
Okay.
Kane's like, I'm scared of you. He says!
He's a little intimidating.
He's gonna pry into my head in my sleep.
He won't.
I know he won't. Just always he has a stare that he wants to.
He had a thought, for sure.
I know he did.
Come on, let's prepare for the liberators.
Okay.
They cautiously go back to the house.
Everything's fine.
She's like trying to stay away from her mom. Like if she sees her mom, she's like, go on!
Your parents have not come at the house today.
Should I go check on them?
He says...
I shouldn't I? I'm being a bad daughter.
He chuckles. He says, they are adults and they can't handle their own emotions too.
No, she can't.
That's why your father is there.
Fine. We'll go talk to him.
You don't have to. You see your dad open the door? Did he come to check on us?
I didn't get to talk to mom.
No, you didn't get to talk to mom. She's upstairs taking a nap.
Wake her up. I'll go wake her up. She goes.
Your dad's like, I'll go wake her up. You can just sit at the dining table.
Okay.
I made macaroons, so. He walks upstairs. Kane looks at you.
What?
You look nervous.
I am nervous because I don't know what mom I'm gonna get. I also am not excited to tell her about Professor White after everything was all.
Yeah. He holds your hand.
She holds his.
And you see your mom walk down, rubbing her eyes. She's just woke up.
Hey, Mom.
She's like, Electra!
Hi.
And she pinches your cheek.
Ow.
She's like, she sits down and she's like, I know you came here to check up on me. You had that face. You had that look on your face written all over you, she says.
Yeah, that's a portion.
It was, I guess the first portion we should go over is the Zul thing, correct?
I don't really know what there's to go over there, but I think you heard everything from Mikhail.
I heard everything from Zul and Mikhail, because Zul came over here to tell your father.
Yeah.
Because I was busy with Mikhail.
So you kind of got the drift.
I did. She was a sigh. What do you want to know? My sweet daughter. She chuckles.
It's not what I want to know. I'm just
Seeing how I feel about the whole thing.
yeah.
Well, let's go over the stages I felt. 1, sad. I love her. She's very EQ for herself. Also, her dad makes her feel EQ. She's like, well, 1, sad because Mikhail came in crying in a hot mess. Didn't even know what was happening. Then I felt a lot of anger because 1, you're my daughter, so I don't like that when that happens. And 2, also for Mikhail, because poor boy. And 3, well, more anger. But at the same time, Alexius would want us to be severely mad at Zul.
That's what I said.
And it would push Zul out of the group.
That's what I
And
said.
tear up everyone inside of it as well.
That's what I said.
And as much, Zul did make a huge mistake, which I'm not right now keen on forgiving him for. Not right now, at least. I prefer to wait until someone actually can prove themselves to be forgiven.
So I'm sort of... I wouldn't say that if Zul came up to me and needed help, I'm going to yell at him and shoot him down with a guiding bolt. But I'm not just too keen on it right now. Yeah. But that's not going to help anything. For Zul and you and Mikkel. And your dad just is looking at your mom. So, I'm still peeved, I should say is a good word for it. But being mad at Zul's not going to help anything. It's not going to help him hold accountability. It's not going to help you, as Alexius either telling the truth or not. It's going to go and try to do something. Yeah. Nor is it going to help Mikkel. Or Damaris.
Yeah.
Or anyone here.
About Alexius.
Mm-hmm.
So
now what's Portia into? She says.
Really bad timing. The Zul thing was really bad timing.
I honestly, yes it was, because I'm sure something else is plaguing you from not thinking fully about it.
So Alexius has a partner.
Mm-hmm. Who is this partner?
Professor White.
Professor White.
But you don't know them.
Now, is this something that has to do with the time shift?
Yes.
Okay, who was Professor White?
The Liberator's villain.
Mm-hmm.
And Professor White is responsible for killing all of the Liberators except for Kane.
I see.
Which is why we had to revive them all. But on this timeline it was Kane. On that one, it was her.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's looking at you.
And
go on.
So obviously the Liberators didn't fight her on this timeline.
Yes, makes sense. Yes.
She's an alchemist, so she has had a lot of chemical burns and such.
Mm-hmm. So it's also a researcher.
Yeah. She had a lot of chemicals burns and such on the previous timeline.
Now your father did tell me from Zul about the chemical burns in your theories. She just sits there. So how do you feel about it?
What do you mean how do you feel about it?
Seems like you're very mad that Professor White has shown up.
Well, yeah, I killed her ass.
She's so silent as you just like, you see her like close her eyes and think. You see your dad hold your mother's hand. Watch her face and she's like, ooh.
She goes quiet.
Meta's like, I see. Poor timing indeed.
Yeah, there was a lot more to the whole Liberators thing.
I can imagine the look on Kane's face.
A lot more. There was a reason that I and Kane went out of our way to go kill her.
Nice. Mom will have to make sure she stays dead. Forever. When time comes, of course. Since they're partners. Potential partners. She says.
Not really potential. He did write it in his documents.
I see. Well, both of them are going to meet a permanent grave, she says. But I'll be careful. Don't worry, I'm not the guns a-blazing woman I used to be.
So, what's your plans?
Well, I don't really have any. I have the Liberators coming over later tonight, just so we can give them a heads up in case they end up remembering, just in case, or in case for some reason Alexius finds out that Kane's a bit icked out by Professor White.
I see.
So we've given them a heads up, and Tisha, because she does remember.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on the Zool thing?
What do you mean, what are my thoughts on this whole thing?
What are your thoughts? You're the one affected by this, obviously.
He made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not the type to just sit by. Are you making any precautions? Any plans? Any ideas? For the potential test that is going to come your way of you being a leader?
I told everyone to act like I was the leader.
I see.
Since we can't really back out of that now.
No, we can't.
And if it's gonna happen anyway, we might as well use it to our advantage.
Oh, we can use it to our advantage for sure. Your mom looks a little scary. As your dad holds her hand.
So, how are you feeling?
Well, very angry about the Professor White ordeal, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you want to do something, but obviously, acting like that's not going to help anything. Mm-hmm.
Alexius could have lied to Zola Mikhail.
He could have. There's always a possibility that that's true, or something might distract him away from testing you.
Yeah, like we opened the God's realms.
So he may not be as preoccupied. He's unpredictable just as probably we're as unpredictable to him. Because he doesn't know us like the back of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elliot does, weirdly enough.
Mm-hmm.
I know Zool wanted to go talk to Elliot's family about everything.
Okay.
She's like, and she comes over to you and hugs you.
Generally.
She's like, you're very strong, Electro, okay? I am very proud of you, and I'm sorry this did happen to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry about anything. You didn't even cause anything, she says.
Not yet.
Pokes your nose. Stop that.
Stop what?
She's like, it's not your fault that Alexius is an absolute psycho, says Professor White. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? Don't give me that. Pinches your cheek.
Ow.
Okay, but your mother is okay. Albeit a bit angry and a little bit volatile, but I can keep myself in check. With your father around.
You sound like Sean.
She says, I've always been a bit on the volatile side. Just honest.
Me too.
But I know how to manage myself very well. After all the years I've been working on that. So, don't be scared of me, she says.
I'm not scared of you. I'm scared for you.
For me? Why?
You're my mom.
And I'm scared for you too, sweetheart.
I don't want you to get hurt.
I don't want you to get hurt either. Because you're my daughter.
I think we're a little too late with that one.
I know. That's why it hurts. It makes me angry. Just as if I get hurt, you're gonna get sad and angry too.
I know.
That is all a part of loving somebody.
Stupid.
But without it, there would be no such thing as love.
I don't hate.
How?
I'm also gonna turn the fucking air up. Why the fuck?
And it always just never, like...
It never cools completely.
It just says, I collect 681. I gotta use the bathroom anyways.
So what's it set up?
Can you check it periodically and make sure it stays at 71? Because it's fucking hot. That you fucking agree. Why you avoiding war? That's what the guns you share are for. But
Yeah, but your mom hugs you. Basically says, "I'm just worried about you getting hurt." Well, it's too late for that, but mother cannot help but worry.
yeah, I know. I don't know, maybe Alexius and Professor White will just hop in a hole and die because they're not doing anything and it's been a day, so.
Chuckles. I know, I'm impatient too. Just get it over with. Pull the band-aid off.
Honestly.
But pulling band-aids off is probably not the best way to...
I mean, you'd be able to prevent it either. Whatever, I guess.
I don't think if they, as soon as expose Zool being like that, and then they directly attack, I don't think anyone would be okay.
Yeah, that's why if I was a villain, I would do that.
Would just be a reason why they did not do that.
They're stupid.
Or they're using it as a test as well.
Or they're still working on their plan.
Possibly. Waiting for what leaves and comes out of Alamigo, I suppose. You hear a knock at the door. She's like, "No, I got it, girl. Sit down." She sits you down.
Okay.
This is my house. I get my door. You two just sit there, okay? They look pretty. She struggles. She laughs as she leaves to the front door. And she's like, your mom says, "Elliot!" You see Elliot and Wolf standing there.
Hi.
And it's like, "Oh, you're here!"
Mm-hmm.
It's like, "We had tea with your parents today."
Oh. Currently?
"Yes," Elliot says. And your mother sighs and is like, "You're an hour early, so. But come in."
Early is on time is late, and late is fired.
Exactly. That is what I taught my workers when I used to have workers, he says. I used to give them very good pensions, you know? He's so funny.
Yeah, I'm sure Sebastian talked all about it.
Oh, yes. He's actually in Alamigo right now.
Is he?
Yes. You know, he needs some workers' comp, so I gave him a house.
That's good.
Wolf blinks and he says, though he wishes for the sweet release of death. And he's like, no, there's still lots of life to enjoy. He just needs to find it.
I think he's found enough life.
How could he never want being immortal?
Because he has nothing left.
I'll figure out a way to bring his family back. I just gotta find enough.
I don't think he wants that.
I just gotta find enough their bones.
Aren't you trying to be good?
That's a good thing to do. Cole says, no, it's just not morally right. He's like, yes, but Sebastian can't really. He's the most useful worker, so I can't exactly let him go.
What happens when you have to stop using necromancy?
Well, then he would be freed. But that's, if I stop using necromancy. But right now there's no solution, so...
There's a solution.
Oh, but, well, it might take a while, so I'm just going to, enjoy it while it lasts.
I'm praying for you, Loth. I really am.
Oh, sorry. He can do what he wishes on some occasions.
Hear me out, Elliot. How about you just ask Sebastian what he wants?
I have.
And what'd he say?
The sweet release of death.
And why won't you give it to him?
Because he's such a good worker. There's so much more he can live for. I'm sure.
And what if he was a bad worker?
A bad worker? Well, then I'd probably send him on vacation somewhere. Like I do all my workers. He does not give them the feelings of death.
Okay. You know what? Not my problem. Nice talking to you, Mom.
Well, it was nice talking to you too. Stay as safe as you can out there, sweetie. Okay? Don't put more on your shoulders than you can handle. Okay?
Okay.
You promise me that?
I don't make promises I can't keep. Love you.
Oh yes, hurt your mother, huh?
I'm not hurting you.
She sighed.
I'd never hurt my mother more than I already have in my life.
Your mom gives a sigh. She says, "Go on now." What?
What? I promise I wouldn't intentionally put myself in harm's way.
Well, I know that. Of course, you would never intentionally do that.
I can't promise not to get hurt, though.
I know. Just don't put too much on your shoulders, okay?
That's a little too late for that one. 25 years too late.
More than you need to anymore, she says. Intentionally anymore.
I won't add more to the pile.
Good.
Love you.
Love you too.
Good seeing you, Lost. Good seeing you, Elliot.
It's like, come by sometime.
Okay. And she goes. Okay.
Kate comes out with you. It's funny because as soon as Lilith enters, you notice like Kane and like as you pass by Lilith, Kane and Lilith lock eyes and they're like fucking.
She's like, okay. Now we can wait for the Liberators.
Yes. Lilith and Kane squaring up.
Always.
See Merlin come and he's like, Merlin comes up and he's like, "Hey you guys!"
Hi.
He's like, "I didn't get into any more trouble."
Sounds good.
Kane's like, "You're a liar." He's like, "Well, trouble that doesn't affect any of us, okay? So, just another Druid Grove mad at me again." It always happens. They just don't like it that I'm so untraditional.
That you're a nudist.
No, that's fine.
Um,
I just have a different way of being a Druid, that's all. So, Kane, when are you gonna fight Lolf?
they're not.
What?
We have some bigger issues, which is why we called all the Liberators here.
Oh. Well, tell me when Kane and Lolf duke it out.
They're not going to.
They need to!
Why do they need to? They've already done it.
They gotta release all that pent up anger for all those years.
How about they both do it on the enemies?
They once were enemies.
The two enemies in which we all want to kill.
That's true. There's two enemies now. I thought Elliot. Oh, Elliot's not an enemy, right?
No.
Oh, okay. He offered me to be like one of his undead servants. I was kind of debating it.
No.
And I was like, I would be immortal.
He'll never let you go.
That's fine. I mean, look. Do you see the pensions he gives his workers?
Ask Sebastian if it's worth it. He'll say no.
Well, Sebastian's really old. I'm not.
You would end up being really old.
Yeah, but like I don't live as long as you all do. Well, I live as long as you all do. He says I'm a high elf. Silly me. Kane should.
Kane doesn't have to. I have a plan for Kane.
Oh yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, that means I'll have to take the deal. Cause I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna die like in the next.
I hope Kane just
500 years.
you in the head. You know, I feel like you getting a little brain damage might fix whatever's wrong in your head.
Kane's like, I don't think so. He's far beyond help. Kane says. You see Aaron walk up and he's like, is he being stupid again?
Oh, you're here too, yay. Now we're waiting on two.
Aaron glares at Merlin. He's like, what?
Yeah, he is being stupid.
I'm being smart. I'm thinking ahead. And Aaron's like, you're not becoming immortal. I think the world's better off if you die of old age. He's like, that's so mean. You know I only have 500 years left.
Only 500.
That's pretty fast for me, he says.
No, it's not! It's really not! Even for an elf, it's not. You're a fucking liar.
High elves have different perceptions of time than... Yeah.
What are you, already an old man?
He's like, well, like humans, their lives are so fast. Like,
What? So you're basically 50 years old? In human years? So you're an old man?
I'm actually 40.
So you're an old man?
Yeah, technically in human years, yes.
Cain, you're
like
best
Cain,
friends with an old man.
Like Cain, right? He was so young and suddenly, oh my god, he's like an adult man. That's crazy to me. How fast that just was like... It felt like only a year. Now you're so old, Cain.
He's only 27.
Yes, but he only has like 20 more years of his life, or 40 more years of his life left.
No, he doesn't.
It's just crazy. Like
More like he has like 990.
oh yes, because you're playing. Yes, it's fair. Yeah, but just human lives are just so fascinating. He says. Merlin says.
Maybe you should go talk to Damaris.
Nah, I talked to him enough.
Yeah, he's a little crazy right now.
He sure is. And you actually see Tisha teleport in with Katana.
Oh, hey.
Tisha says, I foresaw the news, she says. She approaches you all.
Yeah, I'm glad, I guess. So... Pretty bad news. Most of you, all of you guys except Tisha, aren't going to remember. But there was this villain on the other timeline named Professor White.
And I was like, Was that Elliot?
No.
Oh.
Professor White was the Liberator's villain. Your guys' villain.
Tisha nods.
And she was a alchemist, and long story short, she killed all of you except for Cain.
Doran's like, damn.
On this timeline it was Cain. On that timeline it was her.
And I was like, damn. That's crazy. He says.
And she, on this timeline, has popped back up and is working with Alexius. And here's the real kicker. On the previous timeline, she had a lot of scars and such that you guys inflicted on her. Well, Zool ended up giving her a chemical burn similar to one of which you guys gave her on her neck, almost identical.
Tisha nods and she says, I did not hear the news, but I foresaw Professor White's coming. Right when it happened. Which is why I couldn't find her after the time shift changed. Because that was not Professor White we once knew.
Yeah.
Merlin's like, yeesh, man.
But I wanted to give you all a heads up because there have been like time rifts and weird things like that. So in case they end up remembering or something along those lines, and she ends up remembering you guys, I thought you guys would want to err on the side of caution.
Merlin says, yeah.
It's not a high possibility, but it's still a possibility.
Yeah, it's good to cover all possibilities, Merlin says. And Aaron says, he says, well, if push comes to shove and she remembers, we'll be prepared for her.
I don't think she will.
And Tisha says, most likely not.
I don't think she will remember. What I do think is that they could learn that there is something affiliated there.
And Tisha says that is highly more likely to happen than.
And the reason I think that is because of Cain.
Tisha nods. She says.
Because they would know that Professor White has never met Cain before on this timeline. But if Cain is showing a great disdain or nervous or fear or worry regarding Professor White specifically, and he gets a few ideas regarding a timeline shift, which I'm sure that he already has, given that Elliot knows.
And she's like, Tisha says, I'm actually surprised Elliot remembers the time shift.
That's what I mean, is that there's a possibility that Alexius may end up figuring out or making the right assumption there, or at least a close one. And if that's the case, might apply it to you guys too. Might.
And she nods and she says, Tisha says,
because you guys matter obviously to Cain, and you matter to us, right? So if something bothers Cain and it's very clear that it's not a this party related thing because we just came together, and it becomes clear that he was in another party that was heroes and they fought people, then he might connect dots that perhaps there's something there with Professor White.
Merlin's like, man, of course he'd be able to connect something like that. Though there's a small chance he could, but he's a genius in his own right.
I just don't know what he's figuring out. And that's kind of the problem, is that we can't remember the conversations we have with him if he does have them with us, which he is.
And Tisha says, example, Zool and Mikkel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron says, it's also his biggest mistake right there now.
How do you think?
Aaron's like, now we know
We do know.
what he's doing, trying to do, which is going to fuck up a lot of his tests. They're not going to be as controlled.
No, but I also don't think that he would have told us if he thought that there was a possibility that he would not be able to still facilitate it with success.
Aaron nods and he says, it might open up more brash tests.
Yeah, which is really shitty timing. Given everything. But I wanted to let you guys know.
And Katona nods and she says, well appreciated, we'll be prepared for anything. And Ron's like, yeah, Katona, you should stay here and not let me go. Katona's like, I'm going to stay with my wife. Ron's like, Tisha, why can't you just quit?
Who else is gonna lead the East?
Tisha says, I mean, there's already candidates trying to form, but I have 7 more years, 6 more years. Everyone's like, oh.
What's wrong, Merlin? You said that because you're an elf. Years pass by like a minute.
I know, that's why it's awful, because I need to spend as much time with my friends as possible. Or y'all die the second I blink. Katona sighs and pats him on the back, and he's like, I know.
You know, if other things don't kill your friends first.
Exactly, that's why it's so scary. And you see actually Kane go up to Merlin and hug him. And he says, I know it's a sore point for you, Merlin, but it'll be okay. And Merlin sighs and he's like,
Merlin, you may not think 500 years is a long time, but it's a very, very, very long time.
I know it is. And he says, just some things, he says.
But that was it.
Aaron nods and he says, we'll have to keep an eye out for this Professor White. And Katana and Aaron nod. Merlin just looks like he's just laying on the fucking ground.
Tisha, you should talk to Damaris.
Should I?
About Professor White, yeah.
She knows.
So he stops harassing my husband.
Just chuckles. And she says, yes, I can talk to Demars.
Thank you. Yes, he wants to know more about Professor White, not getting it from Kane.
Tisha says no, she should be talking to you. Plus, he'd only want to talk to you anyway.
But you can give him somewhat of a rundown in which I don't know, and obviously Kane is not going to talk to him about, for obvious reasons.
Kane not Kane nods. Tisha nods.
So, if you could give him anything you want.
I can give him a good rundown of my experience with Professor White through my eyes.
If you'd like. You don't have to, obviously. But it would be nice.
Professor White is a sore spot, but not sore enough a spot to talk about. She needs to be talked about and what her capabilities could become. She says, right now, when I foresee her path is not the same as it once was right now.
That's good.
She's still not good at all, but there's chance to mitigate. To where she could be easily defeatable. Right now, at least.
We'll figure it out.
Alexius and that unpredictable as always, I cannot see anything.
Can you do me a quick favor?
Tisha nods.
It might be a little hard, but I saw a particular future regarding Saloon and Shah's realms. Can you give me, like, some kind of idea if we're still on that path or not?
Yes. Remember you mentioned that Shah's realm was to...
Yeah, like there was a big hole in Shah's palace, and Saloon's realm looked worse for wear.
She knows. I can set up a ritual to read that type of fortune. Just give me a few minutes as I talk to Demars about it, and I will come out and prepare the ritual to read that type of future.
Okay.
She nods. And she like taps Merlin with her staff as he's laying on the ground. He's like, get up. She's like, get up, Merlin. He's like, He's like, and she levitates him up. Like telekinesis him up. He's like, do not pout, Merlin. You'll have enough time to spend with us. He's like, are you sure? She's like, yes.
She can see the future. She didn't say that. She didn't mean it.
She knows. I know high elf years seem like we disappear in seconds, but you have to make it count. He's like, that's what I'm trying to do. She nods as she walks off.
And start by not dying.
Totally slaps him hard on the back like she always does, and Aaron sighs as he's like, you're good. And he's like, you're alright. And Ren's like, yeah.
I think everyone should be a little more concerned about you dying rather than them dying first.
And it's like,
Given you already died once.
and it's like, yeah, like, you should not be worried about our old age getting to us, Merlin.
You should be worried about your recklessness getting to you, Merlin.
He's like, yeah, I know. And Kane actually speaks up and says, there's no need to be reckless and trying to enjoy every second of your life with us by being reckless. He's like, yeah.
I can at least assure, you're gonna die before Kane.
I mean, that'd be nice, he says.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, good. Because,
Because sadly, I have to live 1,000 years, so...
He chuckles and Merlin actually says, it'd be nice if someone died. I died before someone else. In terms of age, that is.
Well... I can assure that it won't be Kane.
Good. He said.
because if I'm alive, he'll be alive.
And he actually smiles. And he says, I know all of you will live longer than I do. So, except for the Liberators, the rest of the Liberators, of course. But it's nice to know that it won't be gone like in a second.
She says, if loss and hurt did not come with love, and what's the point?
He nods and he says,
If you don't face the chance of losing the things that you love, then you take it for granted. If you don't lose the things that you love, or some of them, you tend to take them for granted and don't love them as much as you wish you did. That's why loss and that's why hurt and pain exist. Because you have to hurt, you have to lose, and you have to feel pain in order to truly cherish the moments in which you are happy and with the ones that you love.
he nods and he says, that's how I thought of things, or how I think of things. Make every moment last, because it isn't the villains that take the people away. For me, it's time. Sadly, us high elves, and even you ask Mars, everything moves by so fast for us.
Yes.
And he says, sadly, sometimes the people I have loved, I mean, I'm glad you're able to find a way to make your loved ones stay just as long as you. He says, but that's sadly a part of.
Yes, but also, these aren't permanent solutions. Because I could lose anybody that I loved in a split of a second.
No, you could. You could.
And I want to make something exponentially clear. The people that you have lost are not gone. I know it feels like they're gone. But they are with you, and they are working and on their way to being reincarnated and coming back.
I know, it's all in the memories.
It is. And when your time comes, eventually, you will reincarnate as well. And you'll come back, and you'll get to be with everyone again. Because that's how it works.
It is, he says.
That's what karma and omens are for.
Yeah, I read that whole book and stuff. Yeah.
So, if you do good in this life, which you have, then in your next life, you'll see everyone again.
Okay, but there's some bad he's done. He's like, hey, stealing wine from a bar is not that bad. And King chuckles. He's like, no, but you're right. But you're right. He says, I just sometimes when I think of how fast things move, it gets me all.
Frazzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
No.
I think that in order to have light, you have to have darkness.
You do. That's why.
And in order to truly love and enjoy life, you actually have to live And though you have been given what feels like a curse, it's also a blessing. Because you would not have met all of the people in the many lives that you have lived, that you have, if you were not a high elf.
That is true. He says,
You wouldn't have met Cain.
"No, why do you think I drag him on so many adventures?" And King chuckles and he says, "I know why you did it all." Says, "I've been one to take as much time as possible that I have to be with my loved ones.
She nods.
Because sadly, most of my loved ones don't live as long as I do. Because I wasn't able to find a way for immortality that wasn't just necromancy or being cursed by the most insane object in the world." He said, "Sadly, druid magic doesn't make nobody immortal."
But also, immortality comes at a cost.
It does, and I didn't want to put that out of you.
And longevity comes at a cost as well.
It does.
Which is... We found a way to do it, but it's not the great solution either. It's technically not even a healthy one. But I know very well that if I didn't have Cain, I would not be here.
He nods. He says, "Well, what's your solution, huh?"
There's a couple ones. Big one is we swap souls just to pieces.
I think that's a great idea, to be honest, especially if you love each other very much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that got any consequences or backfire to that one.
No, hopefully not.
He says I don't think there would be any. I mean, you love each other very much. Might as well just share your souls.
Yeah.
Since you're a demigod, be able to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, the only error or problem with that is if one of us died, the other one would kind of go with.
Yeah, that's like the only consequence right there.
I think that's okay.
Better than probably other options.
Well, that's why we're not doing it right now.
Kay still got a long life to live, so you ain't fighting with age. He said with time, I should say.
27.
He nods and he says, "You're not fighting for him to die of old age," so he chuckles.
No.
I think it's a good solution, he says. The only reason it works is because you're a demigod. You know.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with Cain, obviously. Or Tisha or Aaron. He says.
I mean, you could ask a god.
I could, but I'm not really on speaking terms with any gods, he says.
I can ask some gods.
He chuckles. He's
None of them owe me.
He laughs and he's like, "I'm sure they do, but it's alright for now." He says, "Sometimes there's some things we gotta live with."
Okay, if you ever want to take me up on the offer, or if anyone wants to be immortal, she looks at everyone. She's like, let me know. I could probably figure something out. I think I could probably convince Ogma. I think I could do it.
I'm sure I would agree. But Ron gives a small smile and he says, "Well, I didn't mean to dump that on you, so."
Don't worry about it. I like talking to people about their feelings. I do it a lot.
He laughs and he says,
It's my job.
"I just had a pretty nasty, well, not nasty, I wouldn't say it's nasty. Canes always calls it sad, but..."
It probably is sad if Cain calls it sad.
I mean, it was pretty, not the best.
Sad.
Yeah. He says, "My, parents were human," he says.
Maybe adopted?
Well, it was complicated. So, I was adopted because, well, I was born in a Druid Grove, and the Druid Grove got attacked by Talona's people. So, my parents kind of not, let's just say in a good way possible, being Druids, threw me to the wild, where I was found by my two parents. But since they were human, they didn't last very long, sadly. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
In a blink of an eye, they were old and then they were dead. So I kind of turned to druidry and tried to bring them back. But all I could do was turn them into trees. That was about the time when I knew my parents is when I met Kane. Only reason I didn't turn into a full tree was because Kane stopped me from doing it.
Yeah.
And the more friends I met that weren't elves and such, the quicker they died. Tis a curse and a blessing.
But you have a special job.
He raises a brow.
Because you live. You get to keep their memory alive.
I do.
And you get to talk about them, and you get to tell the world about them, and have everyone remember how great this person was, and how awesome they were, and the cool things you guys did.
That's what Tisha told me back when we started Liberators. When we first, of course, all got to know each other, she told me the same thing. She's a prophet, for God's sake. Of course she'd know. And she's not no regular human. I don't even know how long she lives for, to be honest.
Probably a long time.
Probably. So it kind of gave me comfort to know she'd be alive. I just feel like a lot of my race doesn't really appreciate time, that they realize how fast it goes by for a lot of other races. We live at least 10 lifetimes worth of some races, while they just live one. That's why the Druids don't really like me much. Because I, one, tried to bring back sometime people in I call it my Dark Ages. My Dark Ages with Druid magic. And they don't really see the world like I do. So I try to convince them, because I don't really like the way Druid groves are run. But they end up kicking me out. I can't necessarily run my own Druid's Grove, because no one wants to be a part of my Druid's Grove.
Well, you haven't tried.
I have. Multiple times, actually.
Yeah, but you didn't try with my help.
That's true.
And I'm a lot more convincing than you.
Yeah. And he says, yeah, but a lot of Druids, they're so stuck up. Like, they got roots up their ass.
Well, that's the thing, is that they are stubborn and they're not willing to see where you're coming from.
No, they don't. I mean, not all of them, of course, are like my race, right?
No.
But they're so secluded. Like, that's not gonna help. That's not gonna help anything. He's like, the seclusion's the part that makes us forget what the world's really like.
Well, then we'll work on it.
You know, so that's been my mission for a while. And I know Katona's got her own, and Erin's got her own, and Tisha's just the leader of the East. So she's got her own mission. But
well, we'll help you with yours.
he's like, really? Kane says we have more connections than we used to. He's like, that's so awesome. He's like, and they're gonna be all nudists. And Kane's like, no, please stop.
Never mind, we won't help you.
Oh, come on, it's the freedom.
No.
I'm just kidding, we don't have to be nudists. I'll be the nudist, he says.
Nudist with consent.
With consent. Except for Kane.
No.
Kane's like, I don't want to see that again. Kane's like, I think out of all my traumatizing experiences, I think that was the worst one. Kane says, he's like, it wasn't!
I'm sure it was.
Kane's like, I can't believe you did it on both timelines. Anyway, and Merlin's like, it was funny.
Well, let's start with this. Where do you want to be based? The East or West?
And he says, well, I was born in the West, so I want to do the West because the East doesn't really have druid groves like that. The East has druid, more like freelance druids, like they just kind of do their own thing.
Then how about you talk to Sophie?
Oh yeah.
And how about you talk to Miss Mercy?
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, he says. That's gonna be hard to open up those druid groves to at least. Well, I could open it. Well, I could just open up my own. I have a perfect spot for it. Hopefully, another druid grove isn't there though. I'll just blow them up or turn them on the trees. A little more nature.
I'm sure Miss Mercy could get it for you, if it is taken.
Good, because, man, let me
or
tell you.
Sophie could give you the rights.
Let me tell you, one damn pretty place taken by a damn druid's grove. And then they close it off to the world despite its beauty.
She summons Miss Mercy.
Miss Mercy appears.
Hi.
Hey, long time no see.
Long time no see. I also need to talk to you, but first, could you do me a favor?
Sure, anything.
So Merlin here wants to make a more inclusive druid grove in the West. And I wanted to see if there was any way you could help him with that.
That should be easy enough if you already have a place in mind. It's like, I do. Now, there might be druids already there, but I haven't checked that place in years, to be honest, because I kind of gave up on the whole druid grove thing. And Mercy's like, I could probably handle it. I'm not really too fond of...
Thinking of the SpongeBob meme. I forgot the part of it, but it's the first part. And put him somewhere else! I forgot the first part!
What is it? Is it like the, let's move it? Like, it's like when they move the town?
Yeah.
Let's move it and put it somewhere else! Yeah, I just talking
and
about
put him somewhere else! That's all I was thinking about.
That's really how it is. And Mr. just like, well, this is good, 'cause I'm not really partial to druid groves. Though, I guess I'll be partial to yours, obviously. He's like, sick. That works for me.
This is for inclusivity and kindness.
Merlin says,
respecting life.
and Merlin nods, and he's like, look, I get the whole druid grove's goal of, like, protecting, like, these really important nature places, but shutting them off to the world is just destroying the fact that their beauty is just there. Like, sure, there's people out there that want to destroy beauty, but that's why the druid groves are there, to protect the beauty.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you should shield it off.
Mm-hmm. And I personally think the West could do with some of the less of the strictness on closing off these things.
Which is also why I'm going to get you in contact with Sophie. I'm going to write her a letter and put you in contact with her.
That's what she's like. I quite like this project. After all, I'd like to actually take my wife to some nature-esque places that aren't druid groves, that are strict on having Cambians afraid to burn down the forest. Why would I burn down a forest? She says that just ruins the whole picture of everything.
She chuckles.
And Merlin's like, perfect. And he's like, this will work out great. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of druids angry at me, but who cares? I mean, look, I can easily get rid of druids in a snap of my finger. And Kane's like, actually, like, leaves down, he's like, he's right about that.
Okay, well maybe killing them's not the option.
No, I'm just saying it's like a last resort. If they try to kill me, then,
Okay.
tree.
Not the option. I will say this. If you need any, like, crowdsourcing or funding or whatever, I have a lot of money.
He chuckles and he says, as much as I wish money could solve a druid grove, sadly that's the one.
But I could spread news.
He's like,
Money talks.
that's true. He's like, if I could borrow like maybe, what is it for a newspaper publish? And Miss Mercy says, it's just only like 100 gold for the Holy City newspaper publish. She just pulls out a sack of 100 gold. He takes it, he's like, man, finally it's all coming together. Hopefully it doesn't fail this time.
It won't. Make sure you write in the newspaper that, mention us.
Mm-hmm.
Us. You know, the people currently working to save the world.
Yeah! I could even mention New Solutions or something, that, like, big name going everywhere.
And that we both promote it.
Yeah, no, that works perfectly. And he says,
And Sophie also supports it. You should put that there too.
Oh, yeah. I'll put that there too. Well, I guess I got some work to do. And he's like, you want to see something cool?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. And, like, there's, like, a few plants in Alamigo. And he's like, I'm going to go to the Holy City. And he touches a plant, and you see him get encased in roots and disappear into the ground.
Whoa.
Kate says, he can teleport through plants.
He should be like a plant god.
He chuckles. Kane actually chuckles. And Miss Mercy, of course, waves to you and says, I'll be busy, so we can talk later.
I wanted to mention first, because you'll probably see Sophie before I do. Let her know that Alexius has a partner named Professor White.
Wait, Miss Mercy, she's like, the Professor White?
Yeah.
Because Miss Mercy remembers, because she's technically part of the Abyss, so she was not affected by the time change. She's like, she's back. Oh, that bastard. She says,
and we're pretty sure that, because the Liberators didn't fight her on this timeline.
No, they did not.
So we're pretty sure that, in a sense, those time is slightly different. We are the Liberators of this timeline.
She's like, oh. Well, in the first timeline, me and Professor White actually worked together.
Really?
She nods and she says, on the first timeline, me, Blood Knuckles, the Night Walker, Elliot White, and me, we're all working together.
Oh. I know that.
Me, not so much, more just in the benefit of myself, obviously. In order to not get dragged back to the hells, she says. It was more so to ensure that I will never go back to hell. But I did work with them. Guilty enough. She says. I know how Professor White was.
Yeah, me and Kane were the ones that killed her on the first timeline.
I do know that.
Yeah.
I actually saw and heard that. Because Elliot talked about it when he was a Lich Elliot.
What did he say?
He thought it was funny. He's like, if you want to talk to Elliot about that whole ordeal when he was a Lich, he still remembers, I'm sure.
Yeah, he does. I wanted to give you that heads up though, because we have 2 villains now. And also, yeah, the gods reopen their realms.
I did feel that, yes.
Yeah.
She says, in a way it's good and also scary, but at the same time, that's too many gods. And he says, and she says, also, but I know who he tried to target if he wanted.
Yeah, speaking of targeting, he's kind of, to our knowledge, to what we believe, he is targeting me.
You know, he's tried to target me a few times. I actually even do remember him from the first time as well.
Alexius?
He was the one who made Ellie the Lich, of course.
Crazy. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Now you make it. I just wanted to give you that update.
And she knows, and she says, hopefully Merlin does not say anything weird in the papers.
I'm sure he will.
I'll keep nudity out of there.
Yeah, maybe just like, once it's over, make sure it's appropriate.
I'm sure
my money is being spent well.
I'm sure Sophie will before I do.
Okay.
And she teleports in flames.
Kane says, Merlin's very strong, he says.
Mm-hmm.
He could turn people into trees in a second.
I can see that, yeah.
He's a druid not to be trifled with. Not it being too big.
Crying, sobbing, doing that.
Now it's a cool necklace.
No, I think I can probably fix it.
Yeah. Maybe you can put like a little tie in the back so it looks like a fighter's bandana. That'd be funny. Kane nods and he says that's his story, really. That's why he kind of, we used to get into trouble a lot because he wanted to make every second count.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know. That's why I usually never say no when he drags me into trouble.
Okay. You should still say no
I
to
should still say no.
Saying yes to a druid's grove is one thing. Saying no to him putting you in mortal danger
He's
is
going
another
to try to make me a druid now.
That's okay. You can try your best.
I cannot cast
I think it'd be funny.
I can't even cast anything. I'd just be touching plants like with nothing going on.
The animals would surround you. I still haven't gotten my bear.
No, I'm sure Miller's gonna reward you with a bear soon. He says he told me he was looking for a bear for you, the perfect bear.
The perfect bear.
He's very picky.
Evidently. I could call one. Just get the bear to come to me. Every other animal in the world comes to me though instead.
Kate laughs. And I seem to have come to you too.
You're not an animal.
But if you think I'm a bear?
I think that you are a teddy bear.
A teddy bear.
That's a difference.
He chuckles.
Tisha's taking a long time to talk to Damaris.
I'm sure Damaris is asking her 100 questions.
I'm sure too. I'm a little concerned now.
Damaris likes to ask questions.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
We have a pretty long history with Professor White, so it's going to probably take a few minutes.
Okay. I guess we can go talk to Elliot.
Why?
Because of what Miss Mercy said.
He does have a unknown history we would never find out from the first timeline.
Yeah. See what he knows and remembers.
And you see Elliot walk out of your parents' house with the wolf.
Oh, there he is. Hey.
What is? Oh, Electra Kane, you're out here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm curious about something.
Ask away.
First timeline.
Yes, I do know the first timeline.
Tell me a bit about you on the first timeline.
Well, I was very, very evil. A lich, I have said before, yes?
Yeah.
A lich. My goal, I think, during that time, was not to bring my family back, for that was far, far gone. They were far, far dead. It was more so to bring the world to ruin, to destroy my nemesis, Alexius. He says, and the only way I thought to destroy him was to destroy everything, so he would have nothing. So if I plunge the world into a deep darkness and into death, then he'd have nothing to do, no research, no anything, and he'd have to suffer for the rest of his life.
A lot of anger and resentment there, I see. Okay.
You notice him get a little darker when he says that. He, like, more necrotic energy, he says that.
Okay. Can you tell me about Professor White?
Professor White. Let me tell you something. I hated her. I hated her because she reminded me so much of Alexius. But she was a useful tool. Very, very smart, he says. Mm-hmm. Willing to do anything to get to her goal, which I never really figured out what her goal was. But what was the point when she had the tools for absolute destruction?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She says, and she was a good listener. She was a very good listener, full of ideas, but quite brash with her actions. I knew it would end up getting her killed by y'all eventually. She was just not careful enough. And I warned her so, as Lichme did, obviously. But she didn't listen to me. But that's not my problem. Or wasn't my problem. Plus, it was kind of nice to have her dead. She just reminded me too much of Alexius.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me know. That's it.
Okay. He's like, yes, but Professor White, experimenter. I didn't know what she was experimenting on, but she experimented on a lot of people. I always found her research interesting.
Her writings of this timeline documented her using her alchemy and altar to strip people of their powers temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what that could entail?
He says, well, she did. There was one research she did that she told me about, and I remember quite vividly involving the Liberators.
Mm-hmm.
And he says she bragged about how she was able to cause a block of magic in one of the members.
Which one? She looks at Kane.
And he says, probably Kane.
So.
And he says, but she always told me that she never got far enough to do it on the gods, because she said there was no way alchemy could do that.
Okay.
So she resorted to, she said it was not really her true goal, but actually gave her an incentive to actually pursue her true goal. That it was possible, she said. But she never mentioned, I told her. I remember, ooh, hang on, I'm actually roll for this one. Roll your history check with your +7 intelligence, Elliot. Oh, nat 20. He's like, I remember, actually. And you notice him, like, as he's thinking, the necrotic energies kind of, like, swirl around him a little. You see Lilith watching intently. He's like, I remember when I was a lich. And he says that Professor White said that the stripping of power was not a goal, but it was not in her interests compared to her real research, but showed that something was possible. I don't know what it was because she wasn't clear with me. Neither was Miss Mercy or Bloodknuckers or Nightwalker, and them. We were never that clear with each other of our intentions and stuff. But it seemed like the stripping of power of individuals did not interest her, but was a sort of lead up to something else that wasn't related to power stripping. Sometimes I wonder if it was power giving, he says. Because she did give Cain the power, as she said, quote by quote, the power to not be charmed. Mm-hmm. She was weird, that one.
Okay, well, thank you.
So how are you?
Right.
Ellie, good. How are you?
In what regard?
Because anything? As people always ask their friends how they are doing. So I love him. You see the darkness immediately, like the necromancy just finally stops swirling around him. It's like neutral now.
She chuckles. She says, okay.
That's good. I love him. And he's like, how are you liking that device I made you?
It's nice. I like it a lot.
Good.
I like using it.
Perfect. I'll make something else for you and your family.
She chuckles.
Ooh, I could make you all cameras.
Yeah,
but
we
like
the camera.
No, but like security cameras.
What does that mean?
Come here.
Okay.
Come.
Okay.
And you see Lolth being like, as you're walking with Ellie, you see like Lolth and Kane looking at each other.
Stop it.
What? Kane looks at you.
Both of you.
Lolth looks away. It's like, what?
I can't stand you guys.
Kane frowns.
One of these days, man. One of these days.
What do you mean by that? Lolth says, no promises.
I'm gonna fight you both before I let it happen. And Elliot will too.
And it's like, there's no need to punch. You shared recipes.
You
Makes
shared
you all
recipes.
friends.
It makes you friends.
You
You
see
said
both.
it.
Kane rolls his eyes and Lolth scoffs.
It's true.
Lolth, I'll never be friends with him.
Why?
She's like, we're bound to be enemies.
No, you're
Kane
not.
says, yes.
You're just both stinky.
Kane frowns.
Elliot agrees.
My wife is not stinky. My wife is lovely.
Not when she's trying to fight my husband.
She won't. She just gets to stare at her, but she won't. She quite likes Kane's recipe. Paul says, no, I do not. What's it you do? We make it sometimes.
Swear to God. I will beat you both up.
Kane frowns.
I will beat you up. I love you.
I know.
But it's constructive.
I know you'll beat me out. It's okay.
I'll especially beat you up. She points to Lowell.
Well, this blanks.
Better yet, I'll stick all three of the guards I already stuck on you. I'll stick them back on you. The ones that I, separated, yeah.
You already sicked them on me enough.
I'll do it again. I'll throw Saloon and Shah in the mix too. Just to spite you.
She glares. Well, Alexa, come on, I gotta show you what I've been working on. For safety reasons.
Okay.
So, he takes y'all inside his house, and you see Iris just chilling about. She's like, hey guys.
Hi.
And she's like, she didn't say anything, but, he takes you to, like, a section of the house, and he's like, okay, so I was going to use these for evil purposes when I was running the holy city. But I think these could be instead used for good purposes, like safety, like reassurance. And he says, come over here to this monitor.
Okay.
And you see it's kind of like the same, like, terminal that Alexius had, but a little different, obviously. Like, it's more Elliot style, which doesn't look as scary. He says, okay, let me just boot this up. Let me type in my password. The password. And you see it boot up, and he's like, okay. And he says, okay. Alright, tell me which camera do you want me to look at? Camera 1, 2, or 3?
3.
And you see him, like, almost, like, click the buttons, and he clicks enter on camera 3. And you actually see the front of Elliot's house.
Whoa! That's cool.
Mhm.
That's right now?
Yeah, it's right now. See, Iris, honey, could you go outside? I wanted them to show them the camera. She's like, okay. And you just actually see her walk outside and wave at the camera.
Whoa. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then these aren't magical at all, actually. You see these wires coming out of the computer?
Mm-hmm.
If you follow it, and he actually like leads you through the to the wire, and he points at the front of the house, and you see like kind of like a big rectangle with like a lens,
Yeah.
and it's attached to the wire.
Whoa.
He says, so magic can't interfere with this because it's physical.
Not magical, yeah, that's so cool.
Yes, and they though only one can be in operation at a time.
So you can't look at them all at once.
No, sadly not. I haven't figured that one out yet.
That's cool. I like this.
They're a bit obvious, but
Not to somebody who doesn't know what they do.
mm-hmm. Do you want one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll have to go now to your house to install it.
Okay. Go for it.
He's like, come on, Iris, we have a project. She's like, coming, Dad. As you see Lilith about to like leave with them, she's like, she sighs and she's like, I got a call, sweetheart. He's like, you have to go. He's like, yes, I do. And he's like, okay, but be back before dinner. She says, okay. And she gives Elliot a kiss on the head and hugs Iris as you see Lilith teleport away. You see Tisha come out of Morris's Anna's house.
Jesus, that took forever.
You see her approach y'all and she gives like the longest sigh in the world.
So, he gave you a run for your money.
I expected so, but
Not that much.
not that much. Maybe I should lower my expectations. He seems to be doing well though. Relatively.
Relatively, of course.
She says, let me set up that ritual then.
Thank you.
As you see him, Tisha setting up, he's like, you know that Professor White's the reason why I can't read fortunes so clearly anymore.
No, I didn't know that actually.
She was able to not experiment, but more so use a potion against me that sort of blurred my vision.
Oh.
I actually have quite bad eyesight because of it, she says.
Oh. That's not nice.
No, not inherently, and I seem to still have the maleffects because it's quite different with me.
Yeah.
I'm sort of a time traveler in my own right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it please
She was looking, it was like, she didn't like that.
Yeah.
The Electra didn't like that icon popped up
Yeah.
in the top left.
Yeah, you see Kane hold your hand. But she says, but without my group, I don't think I would have made it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Kane says, Tisha, how long do you live for? She's like, why would you ask that? She's like, you never gave me an answer, Kane says. And
Mel had mentioned it earlier too.
she chuckles and she says, I mean, Merlin's right, because I'm sure you could tell that I'm no regular human. If anything, I'd say I lived for 2,000 years. That's what it felt like anyway. She says, the issue with me is I don't live forever, but it doesn't take time for me to reincarnate. As soon as my death comes, that my supposed to be death comes, which I will know when it is here, I'm instantly reincarnated into someone else.
Damn.
It's a curse for my power that I was given,
Mm-hmm.
that I actually asked for, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Master can give you the gist of that, for she was the one that gave me the power.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Though it's weird because at the same time it's not a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the lives of what I lived and where I'm living.
Yeah.
Game says we call her old lady. Tisha's like,
Based on what she said,
and
you
Tisha
should.
says, and I hate you all calling me an old lady.
Well, but aren't you?
And Kane's like, but you crochet, and you drink tea and play Batman. And she says, I may have picked up old lady habits, but that doesn't make me an old lady. Kane making the same face Electra does.
You also said you're like 1,000 years old. So yeah, you are.
But this body is only 32.
So.
Kane's like, you're an old lady. She sighs. Kane says Merlin calls her the grandma of the group.
Oh my gosh, that's so accurate.
Tisha says, I am no grandma.
And you are.
Just because I've lived 1,000 lifetimes over does not make me a grandma. Kane just looking to the side.
Uh-huh. That's what they all say.
She sighs.
That's like me saying Southern and Shaw aren't grandmas. They are.
They're the true grandmas, considering they were one of the first originals to be born. It is actually said to me that I once used to be a god, but I'm not too sure about that. Kane blinks and he says, you have stated that before, Tisha, but we couldn't find anything.
Well, God!
Tisha says, I do not know, actually.
Have you asked a god?
And Kane actually nods to Dean. He says, we've asked many gods about Tisha's situation. Because Tisha feels as if she is old, but not in the old of because she's lived 1,000 lifetimes, but old in the sense that she's been here for so long.
Did you ask Ogma?
Tisha nods. He says he would give me no answer, straight answer.
What did he say?
And Kane says he said the answer may break Tisha's mind.
Tisha, you're the first being ever to exist ever.
Tisha says, I would hate that.
That's what it is. That's what he means.
Tisha says, I would hate that.
Tisha, you're the one that started it all.
Tisha chuckles.
You're the creator of everything.
Tisha chuckles. She says, I would say that's a bit far-fetched.
I don't think so. That's the only thing I can think of. Break your mind.
King says, we have thought about that. Tisha could have been either one of the first gods made.
You're the first one.
Tisha says,
You're the god of time. But the real god of time.
Azrael Diablos nods Tisha. Tisha says, I think that's a bit far-fetched, though. I wouldn't consider it out the realm of possibility.
What else would break your mind? You gotta think about the things that would break your mind, and that's what it is.
Many things could break my mind.
Well, you gotta assume that that's the answer then. Whatever it is.
Like the millions of things that could break my mind as a mortal?
Did he say as immortal?
He just said it would break my mind, but whether it was immortal or not, yeah, I don't know.
Why? You don't ask enough questions.
She says, I find that asking questions sometimes will give me too many things to think about, considering that Ogma refuses to be direct with me. And I think I'd rather not know, to be honest, if it will break my mind.
I think Ogma's dramatic.
I think Ogma's correct.
You're the very first god. You're a time god and the very first god. You made all the
It's
other
so
gods.
funny because, like, I already knew what Merlin's backstory was, and I know what Tish's backstory was, and I know what Aaron's is, and so this is not made up. This is like things that happen out there.
Wow.
Very true.
You are a grandma. Agma agreed.
Tisha says, I don't have back problems like one now.
You don't have to be a grandma.
He's not.
Tell that to all the high elves of the world.
That was really funny.
Tell that to Merlin.
Kane's like, Agma never was not able to tell you, but you think Agma was able to tell us?
I'm gonna go ask Agma!
Tisha's like, please don't.
Oh my gosh! Well, you said at the ritual I'm gonna go ask Agma.
Kane's like, can I come?
Yeah.
Kane's like, I want to know. And
Oh
Tisha's
my
like, Kane.
gosh. She prays to Agma. We'll be right back while you set it up.
Tisha's like, Kane.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
It's
we'll
so
be
funny
back.
because Tisha's like, Kane, we talked about this, and Kane's like, I want to go see. I want to know. And he's like, she's like, you.
Agma.
And I was like, hello.
Bring me there.
Hello. And he's like, okay. Meow. Meow. You appear in his library.
You have to tell me, what is Tisha?
What is Tisha?
Yeah.
He looks around and he says,
We won't tell her, but you have to tell us.
you won't tell.
No.
He's like, and he says, you must not let this slip at all to Tisha.
Okay.
And you have to be careful because Alexius could use it against her.
Okay.
So if you know this knowledge, then Alexius has the potential to know this knowledge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How would he learn it? From us.
And he says, there's always the chance he could. If someone knows this at all, then there's a chance he could. And the more people that know about knowledge they should not know, then the more he could know. That is why I have secrets in this library that are not exposed to anyone but me.
She looks at Kane.
Kane's like, maybe we shouldn't. I really want to too, but Aqua does have a point. Kane's like, but do we want to put Tisha in danger?
But she won't be in danger. We won't tell anyone.
But Alexius is conniving.
So?
What if he controls us to say something about it?
Well, then he would have to know. If he's gonna control us, then he has to know the information.
True.
Because we're not gonna give up the information.
No, not even a charm a person spell, I think.
I mean, he could try, but if Ogma tells me not to say anything, I'm not gonna tell anyone. Even if I was charm person, I'm not gonna tell anyone because Ogma told me not to tell anyone.
Yeah, it's like, I guess that's true.
And Tisha doesn't really come up in conversation very often.
No, I don't think.
And we don't really talk to Alexius.
And Tisha doesn't.
And we just won't tell Zorn, and it'll be fine.
And Agma says, do you truly wish to know this
Do
information?
you think we should or shouldn't?
Is that to Agma?
Yeah.
Agma says, personally, as much as I would love to tell you and I know you want to know, I do not think it is time yet for you to know.
I can't have anything! I can't have anything!
Kane's like, could you please tell us? It may help Tisha. It may protect her from things. I gotta actually make sure this is right about her backstory because I want to make sure.
Because if we know, then we can make sure and, like, protect her against bad things that might happen.
And he says the whole party doesn't have to know either, the liberators and such.
Just us!
I'm looking up something really quick.
You're good.
Because I feel like I got it right, but I feel like I got it wrong. Oh.
forgot to look up this question, but yeah, I was right. Okay. It's so crazy because I was like, I made it and I was like, this is so crazy, Radisha. But it makes so much sense. Inspired kind of by Baldur's Gate 3. Because I never knew that that's how it was until I looked up more about them. I was like, that's fucking insane. He says this is a secret that after Alexi's is done with can be told to anyone, but Tisha figuring it out will break her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, you know of the Illithid, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mind flayers.
Yeah.
They existed before gods existed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're time travelers. Because their home was getting destroyed, so they left. And try to dominate other universes.
Are you saying she's an Illithid?
He says, she once long, long ago was. And she came to this multiverse as a mind flayer. Though a mind flayer running away from her own empire.
Okay. Why'd she leave? Well, obviously why she left. But, like, why is she no longer an Illithid?
And he says, she did not wish to be Illithid more after seeing many of the multiverses, many of the times. She saw all times possible and ended up on our plane when the gods were first born.
Mm-hmm.
And so, during that time, she begged for mercy and freedom. And in turn would give us knowledge and power, which is how we became gods. And which is why I became the god of knowledge. Because she gave me untold knowledge. And in turn, I used that power to free her and reincarnate her as something else. One of the first few mortals to end up on the plane. But her Illithid nature is not completely destroyed, though she's no longer capable of becoming one, nor be controlled as one.
Mm-hmm.
But since she has a mortal mind and body, knowing she was once Illithid will awaken everything within her and destroy her.
Mm-hmm.
Into not an Illithid, but an aberration.
She nods.
The Eldritch.
She nods. Yeah, I think that's pretty important information.
He nods. And sadly, because of her power, when she reincarnates, it's instant. And she will always remember her past life, though she'll never remember what she did when she first arrived here.
Mm-hmm.
As per my deal and others' deals with her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well. Thanks for letting us know.
Kane's like, that's horrifying.
What part?
Every part, Kane says. Illithid?
She seems like a nice one.
He not. And I'm a nut, like she is. She wants to be free of her own race.
There's a lot of stigmas.
He nods.
That's pretty cool, though. I have a feeling that Tisha's probably not going to come up as a topic, though, with Lexi.
He nods, and he says it's a far-fetched thing to even think about.
Yeah. No.
But if Tisha were to know, then she would become an abomination.
Yeah, well, obviously we're not going to say anything. And
Good
obviously
thing.
we're not telling anyone else.
And that is
How long does Tisha live then?
How long does Tisha live?
Yeah, for a lifetime. Go ahead.
She lives about double of every race's lifetime, then dies and gets revived.
Okay.
However, sometimes death comes for her because someone will kill her, or that is just the natural ways.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes she will not live to her full lifetime, just as some people do not.
Makes sense. Okay. That's it.
You know, it's...
I'm glad the realms open back up.
Yes, now I have all the knowledge to sort through that I have gained.
She chuckles.
And he says, but Tisha's very powerful, and luckily the mind flayers do not look for her. It's been too long. They would not look for her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And not be able to find her unless the secret was exposed to her. That's also another reason. If you expose it, then the mind flayers will come.
Mm-hmm.
That is something we do not want. He says.
Yeah, obviously. Thank you.
He nods and he sends y'all away. Kane's like... Kane's like, well, that was a big bomb drop.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't find anything out.
Regarding?
Tisha. To Tisha. Just don't say anything, I got it.
He nods. Tisha's not gonna ask anyway. She's like, I'm not risking my insanity.
She's like, hell no.
Tisha says, Agma told me? Hell nah. I'm okay.
I don't need to know.
Yeah, no, Tisha's not a curious sort with herself anyway, because she's like, there's some things I do not need to know about myself.
I don't need to know.
Tisha's like, I'm fine living my life. That sometimes gets a little bit traumatic, but like the normal people traumatic. She's like, I'm completely fine. Tisha doesn't even ask. She just continues like doing the ritual. What you doing?
Haley sent me a memory from 2018
What is it?
on Snapchat.
What is it? Mary. It's a stupid ass. I took that. I love it when she says those random memories. It's so funny, dude.
Me and my short ass hair.
Yeah, I literally looked it up, and apparently, like, people have, like, there's, like, theories and stuff that the mind flayers existed, like, forever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's actually, they said, I think one of the races that existed before the gods was the mind flayers.
Hear me out, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, you can make some.
No, we.
You want mozzarella sticks.
We
We.
should have mozzarella sticks.
Do you want me to make some?
No, I asked my mom.
Okay. So, I mean, I would love a mozzarella stick, though.
I'll get mommy to make some.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Me?
I mean, I could, yeah, no, I like mozzarella.
Mommy.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Salud and Shar were actually the first ever gods. And they actually created Chantia.
Really?
Yeah, it says in the Forgotten Realms lore. In the realms, at least 3 gods existed before oceans and lakes even could. Salud and Shar sprang from the featureless void, and they created Chantia to be the planet itself.
Damn.
But people say the aboleths possibly were the first ever creatures, which were basically leviathans.
Damn.
In the Forgotten Realms, it says there's no other races before the gods, but some people said they hypothesized mind flayers have existed far before that, but they were time travelers, so it was wonky with them.
Yeah.
Because you know the Illithid.
Were they were they later in life or earlier?
Yeah, that's basically like people never figured out where the mind flayers were because they were time travelers, so you really can't track that because they jump time all the time.
trying to actually basically find a home because their home got destroyed. That's why they travel in ships all the time, because they don't have a home. And that's why they're trying to rebuild their empire, it says. So I was curious about, because I would hear about Mind Flayer if I never knew about them. So seeing Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, huh? That's why they want an empire, because they lost theirs.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they're trying to rebuild their empire. They do have a god that they follow, but people said they don't know if that's actually like, if it's like a metaphor for their empire, or if it's actually their god. People are saying it's actually their god, and then there's some people that's like, I don't know, when I read it, I feel like it's more of a metaphor. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so they have their, but they only have one deity apparently. God brain, basically. Which is also the plot of, Duke Nukem.
I love that.
I think the first Duke Nukem where there was like a giant brain creature, you had to fucking kill it. Really funny shit, dude. My favorite trope is giant brain creature. It's controlling like everything. It's such a funny
Giant brain creature.
It's such a funny trope, dude. My horrific horror. You would make it scarier if it had like the, you know, like those fucking diagrams that were just the fucking brain, eyes, and the blood veins. That's what it looks like. I think I'm out. I'm gone. Bye. Yeah, but Tisha finishes the circle and she's like, I'll read into Saloon's realm first.
Okay.
Of what you previously saw.
Okay.
And she says, sit down in front of me.
Okay.
You may feel a bit of a tingle.
Okay.
And she casts the ritual, and you do feel a bit like, is it tingly? It's a little tingly. You see, Tisha actually projects an image with minor illusion in front of you.
True look.
And she shows you the exact destroyed realm that you saw. And she says, is this the realm you saw in your first vision? Or
Yeah.
first seeing? She says, okay. And she thinks and she turns. And you see, she says, this destruction would have been caused by Elliot White, but has long since been thwarted.
That's good.
You see Saloon's realm as is. Elliot White would have gotten brash if you did not find out truly who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have directly attacked Saloon, despite even her realm closing.
Okay.
And she switches to shards. And she shows you the exact image of it, the fucking blown hole. And
Yeah, that one.
she nods and she says, and you actually see instead a palace that's not destroyed. She says, Shar would have actually done the damage to her own realm if Elliot White, when Elliot White attacked her.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. As she was intending to try to kill Elliot White when he invaded her realm.
As she does.
And so this was actually intentionally caused by her.
As she does.
She chuckles. But otherwise, that has been, of course, redirected. The realms are fine.
That's good. Okay.
She stops the vision.
Thanks.
The realms look like they're not going to be destroyed at all.
That's good.
So I did not see, she closes her eyes, any plans of Alexius of destroying any god's realm.
I'm not really worried if I'm destroying their realms.
Worried about him hurting them, yes.
More like using them, but yeah.
He may find ways to use their power, but not really against them.
Yeah, I didn't say as much.
What are you about to say? I have a hankering for brains. I was kidding.
What?
I'm gonna throw up. That's really funny.
I'm hankering for brains.
Me as a zombie. My players are basic glorified zombies.
You're fucking funny.
If you think about it, they're glorified zombies.
They are.
And Tisha nods and she says, well, I hope the knowledge Agma gave you was useful, though I doubt it won't do anything much. You didn't need to say anything.
Not useful to you, but useful to us.
Good. She nods. I have no curiosity in such things, she says. I am fine.
Good.
She says, well, I guess I'll need to take my leave now. The past Eastern Palace, even though emptier than before, still busy.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for coming.
She nods as she teleports away. Okay, looks at you.
What?
Just looking at you.
You're always just looking at me.
Because you're so gorgeous. Gives you a smile.
Well, we did everything that I wanted to do, so.
Wanna go home?
Yeah, we do.
He nods. Says, Tisha and Illithid, huh? This is crazy. He literally says it's crazy.
You can't just say that loud.
Maybe not. He said it in a whisper. Like, he said it's.
Under your breath even, you can't.
I don't have a message, sadly.
What if she just popped back up in that specific instance when you mumbled it under your breath?
I won't say it ever again.
Okay.
It's just crazy.
Crazy.
I never expected that. I thought maybe she might have been like a time god or something.
Well, she is kind of.
I mean, my party's only ever encountered one mind flayer. I killed them pretty fast.
I bet.
They were in the Underdark and they were trying to attack us, and we immediately killed them because we were not dealing with that.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah. He looks at you. I'm cooking dinner.
Fine. What are you cooking?
Maybe.
Spicy.
You want something spicy?
I have to train my taste buds.
He chuckles. He thinks and he says, I'll make a good rice bowl for you. And the kids, of course.
Where are they?
They're at school.
Still?
They'll be out soon. It's in an hour. So it's not 6. It's not 5 yet.
She knows. It's like we've done a lot today. I got a little sidetracked.
After an hour, you see the kids busted. They're like, "We're heck. What kind of adventures have y'all been on?" I can see it out the classroom window. Elaine says, "Y'all moving out and about."
We were just talking to people.
About
All kinds of stuff.
like.
Like the fact that the gods' realms are open now?
I didn't notice that. Elaine says. And
She thinks it came.
Elaine's like, "You're not being specific with me.
What do you want me to say?
What are you talking about with everyone?"
A lot of...
Kane says, "Things that we're working on," he says. Like pallets. She sighs. She's like, "No, it's okay. You don't have to tell me."
No, this part you actually should probably know. Alexius has a partner, and their name is Professor White.
Isn't that the big bad evil guy y'all were talking about from the first time? Ew.
Yeah, but the reason I want you to know is because if you see a woman that looks like this, you should run.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Stranger danger.
I will stay out of her way, Elaine says.
Very not good.
Mm-hmm.
Very not good person.
I'll stay away from that. And Axel nods too.
She says, that was the main part because we were a little unnerved because of that.
Yeah, I could tell. Everyone was quite on edge last night.
Yeah.
It's okay. I won't cry no more.
You can.
No, y'all don't want to talk about it. So it's okay.
No, we can talk about it.
No, it's okay.
No, we should talk about it because they're taking accountability. The person is right, Kane.
Kane nods and he says, Zool.
Yes.
And she says, that's what that commotion was at the door.
Well, what do you know?
Nothing besides he showed up at the door and then y'all were gone.
So, Zool made a mistake
Mm-hmm.
and said something to Alexius that he wasn't supposed to.
Mm.
And that made everyone very, very, very mad and upset.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short.
I see. It must have been a pretty big mistake.
Yeah. He kind of put one of us in danger.
Pulling intelligence for her, she can put it together.
It's gonna be a hard one for her. Never mind, she got a damn 19. Her difficulty dice was 15, dude. She only has like +2 to intelligence. She's a kid.
She's a kid. She's a kid. She's not that smart.
She's like, she blinks and she says, let me guess. You?
He mistakenly and accidentally told Alexius that I was essentially the leader of the group,
Mm-hmm.
and that I was the one who decided to help Elliot and his family.
Zool's always been the one to run his mouth. She says she's poking at her food. Axel's just eating, but Lane pokes at her food a little bit. I mean, it sucks, but can't really do much about that now.
Not really, no.
Besides, try to mitigate as much as we can. Well, y'all can, she says.
Mm-hmm. We're managing it. It'll be okay.
I sure hope so, she says.
It will.
Yeah, it will, she says.
Mm-hmm. She says, because we know, and because we know, we can keep an eye on things and we can kind of foresee some of the plans
Yeah.
and stop them from happening.
She nods. What?
You're thinking something that you're not saying.
I'm just typical kid worried is all.
That's a way to put it.
What, I can't be worried?
She messages her and says, you can talk to me.
I know. She says that out loud actually, even though you message her. It's like, I know I can talk to you. I'm just worried about you and Kane. Everybody. Even though this is a part of fighting villains and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Still scary to think about.
It is.
Especially with like 2 researcher villains. Like Kane's never had a researcher villain. Well, maybe not on the second time.
No, not on this timeline.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm just worried.
I know.
Not really feeling a particular way about Zoo or anything. It's just too late.
It is. There's not really anything we
Yeah, besides, brace the storm, as Kane always says. So we gotta brace the storm.
Yeah. Because Alexius basically already said as much. So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's because we're getting under his skin.
I mean, yeah, I heard y'all destroy one of his labs. He only did this because he was angry. It's obvious to see. It also means he slips up more the angry he is.
Yes. And that's why everyone's a little high-strung, basically.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's fairly upset with Zulf right now.
I noticed the tension around everywhere.
Yeah, they're fairly upset.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what to really do.
Farmer's Rich Cheese Sticks sponsor me. But I love matcha too. At Chili's, they don't come in just like sticks. They come in like a fucking massive square.
I know.
It's crap. Like, what the hell? I'm gonna give you 4.
They're cheese wedges.
Fucking just dunk the whole thing in the damn fryer, dude. Give me 4 of those things. Chili's good if you like want to like vomit a little bit, but you really have to go at the right time, which sucks. Caroline's like, yeah, I notice the tension everywhere,
And because he's taking accountability, I think you should know what he did.
and I was like, I know Zool will take accountability. I mean, he wouldn't have been taking accountability if he didn't come up to the door.
Yeah, I haven't even really thought about it at first when he said what he said.
Yeah.
Which it happens, people make mistakes.
Yeah.
No. It'd be a bigger mistake if we didn't know. And also, if Alexius didn't tell us as much.
Mm-hmm.
That would have caused more damage, but instead we can kind of plan around.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it'll be okay.
I sure hope so, honestly.
I don't know why it wouldn't be. I mean, most of the tests he's been doing right now haven't really
I mean,
hurt anyone.
if he's really mad, then he's gonna have a bad test.
Well, I'm pretty strong, so.
Yeah. You are.
Any test he has, I'm pretty sure I can handle.
Yeah.
She narrows her eyes at her.
Well, he's poking at her food.
This is also why I'm staying in Olamigo. Because at the very least we can mediate some damage by doing so.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone is here.
But it sounds like he's not afraid to just walk right in.
No. But if he walks right in, that means he's walking onto our turf, so we have the advantage.
It's just like in war.
Similarly, yeah.
Playing not. Kane taught me about the battlefield.
Did he?
Well, I cried until he told me. Kane was defeated. I just said that.
How'd you do?
I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
He's a general. He has all the plans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thankfully, this is not war.
It's a different type of war.
No, this is a battle. Wars and battles are two different things. Do you know the difference?
No. He doesn't.
A war consists of many little battles.
Mm-hmm.
A war is wide scale and causes a lot of damage. But a battle is one and done. It's a lot smaller scale and it does a lot less damage.
But isn't Alexius causing a lot of mini battles?
No. They're the same battle. It's just a long one. And he's throwing a lot of punches. It's like a strategy on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a battle as a sort of fight in a boxing ring, right? He's throwing his punches and we're throwing our punches, but it's the same battle. The battle doesn't change. The playing field doesn't change either, and the opponents don't change. So it's not a war. So all those things change in war.
Mm.
And a battle, it's constant, but a war is not.
Mm. Well, don't they just hurt just the same?
Sometimes they can, but not always. You suffer more losses in war, multiple, whereas in a battle you suffer one loss. Either you lose or you win, that's it.
I guess I can see it.
The thing is, Alexius wants this to be a war. We're not going to let it be one. Because a war would mean wide scale, that would mean the world. And we are not going to let that happen. Because whatever plans he and Professor might have for this world, they're not good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are going to stop that before it becomes a war.
She nods. Yeah, because they're the big evil guys.
That can become bigger evil guys if left untouched.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we're trying to help Elliot. So that we can have an ally to help us.
Yeah, they seem nice. Their family seems nice. Though the necromancy's a little scary around him.
Yeah, but he'll get rid of it soon enough.
Doesn't Zul have to get rid of it?
Yeah, that means Zul has to be an emblem of peace to do so. Which was a lot easier said than done.
I can imagine. When gods give a task, they're not that easy to complete.
No.
Because I'm sure they want it to be easy, but they can't have it be easy.
I don't know that. I don't know that Eldath wants it to be easy for Zul.
Does it make sense?
Zul has, as much as she'd want it to be easy for the rest of us so that we could defeat Alexius by saving Elliot, she needs to make sure for the future of all of us that Zul is up to the task.
That's true.
And so she's testing him to make sure that he is. Because so far, he's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, he has been.
And a lot of that has to do with the things that he's been through. So, him trying to,
Make amends.
yeah, and work to be better despite that's what's going to help him in the long run. It'll help him be a better person,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a better hero if he so chooses to be one.
She knows. Yeah, gods have like messages like that all the time. Is he?
Nods. The gods are a little crazy.
I guess they kind of have to be if they're controlling that much power all the time.
Yeah. That would do it.
If I controlled that much power all the time for millions of years, I think I'd go a little crazy too.
That's why they make a lot of mistakes sometimes. They get overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
But I think that we got this. And I think we have it handled.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you trust us, right?
I do. Of course I do.
Okay, then all you gotta do is believe in us. I mean, that's good.
I do. Just don't trust the bad guys.
I don't either. But I do trust that whatever they throw at us, me and Kane and everyone else can handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she nods.
Do you guys have homework?
And Elaine says I don't, but Axel does.
What kind of homework?
Axel's like math.
Ugh.
Okay.
Never have homework I can help with.
Okay. Elaine's like, I already finished my English homework.
Ugh.
In class. She said,
Not fair.
I'm good at English.
I am too.
I'm only good at it because of you, so.
She chuckles. Jesus, how does that work?
Because you helped me a few times.
I do help you with it.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear Kane chuckle?
I'm like helping you guys with homework, but I can't help you with homework with math.
She chuckles. Because we're on the semester where it's math.
How does that work?
And a little bit of English.
How does that work?
Well, so the first part of the year is English with a little bit of math. And the second part of the year is math with a little bit of English.
You don't have everything all at once?
No, we have it nice and separate so we get enough learning time to understand the concepts.
So bad.
Kane chuckles. Kane's like, it wasn't like that when I was a kid here.
That's so unfair.
Elaine's like, yeah, I think they developed the system better here after Kane went through school.
In the West, we do everything at once.
Kane's like, that's overwhelming.
It is. That's so unfair.
Elaine says, it's not like this, it's not like this though in all of the East. A lot of the East has like the West.
I'm getting closer.
You are. Has like the West's, system. Alamigo just didn't have it because, well, we didn't have it. He points to Kane. Kane's like, we didn't have an education system when I was here. Kane says the most we got was we had maybe a few tea-filling teachers that came with us as refugees, and we'd learn by sitting in the dirt as they taught us lessons. We didn't really have any paper or anything, so we just drew in the dirt.
Interesting.
And Elaine's like, that's why you're so dumb. Kane's like, excuse me? Kane glares at Elaine.
He's not dumb.
Yeah, he failed because of the dirt. Because he couldn't draw dirt. He couldn't draw on dirt properly. And like,
He failed because of the dirt. What a statement.
Kane chuckles.
What do you mean? draw dirt properly. He failed.
That's why he has bad handwriting. He doesn't even have that bad.
He doesn't have bad handwriting.
He writes weird.
No,
have you seen him
doesn't.
write? He writes like a freak.
No, he
It
doesn't.
sounds funny, so funny. Kane's like, oh yeah? And how long did it take for you to write? Kane's like, probably shorter than you. Kane's like, I don't think so. Axel's just enjoying his time.
How are you, Axel?
I'm okay.
That's good. I'm glad you're okay.
Everything's scary right now, but
Oh.
it's okay.
I don't think it's okay if you think everything's scary right now.
Well, but there's nothing to change the scary.
I mean,
The bad guys are like spooky, scary people, and I don't like spooky, scary people. But at the same time, they're gonna continue to be spooky, scary.
unless someone stops them.
But we have to be careful, and they're probably gonna be around until they disappear. So right now it's spooky, scary. But it'll be okay, because they'll be gone one day.
Soon. She pets them.
The Axel is like relatively fine, besides being a little scared of the villains.
I think I can try kimchi. Give me it.
Gane's like, okay, I just made a new batch. It's a little spicier than the last one because it's still fresh.
I think I can do it.
Well, can't say it was eat it. Still the hardest dice roll.
19.
It's it's still like, whew, but you're not like dying after the first bite. You're probably dying after maybe like the fourth bite.
Ha! I'm getting closer.
Like after the fourth bite, you start sweating. You're like, whew.
I'm getting closer.
Gane's like, you are. Can you take a fifth bite? He chuckles.
No.
You
No.
see Kane laugh. He takes the kimchi off your plate, eats it.
I can't take it. I'm getting closer.
You still see that Axel does carry the saloon dog with him everywhere.
Oh. Hey, Axel.
Hmm?
Can I take a picture of you?
Okay.
Take a picture.
See a picture of him.
I have a great idea, actually.
Hmm?
She's like, come here. She drags everyone. She's like, I could put a timer on this thing. She puts a timer on it.
Yeah, you
She's
put a
like,
timer.
okay, we're gonna take a picture. 1, 2,
Take
3.
a little family picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take a family picture.
Oh, it's so cute!
Kane chuckles.
She puts them on the wall.
Kane's like, well, they do look beautiful.
I'm gonna make what I think is called a collage.
A collage.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had collages, like, they just had it differently, like,
That's why she said I think.
because she just, like, doesn't know if this is what it classifies as a collage properly.
Yeah, because she knows collages were like drawings. Put
But having
together.
pictures is weird.
Yeah.
In proper terms, in modern days, it would be an album. But it's a collage in real time. Gane's like, that'd be cool. You'd have to harass Mikkel for a picture.
Oh, that's easy. I just knock on his door and then take a picture.
He chuckles. Maybe not when his wings are so drippy, though.
That's true.
And Elaine's like, beep, 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 beep. And she's like, Kane, you said the first time I was your villain? And he says, long ago. I mean, it seems like it's happening again, though. Elaine's like, do you have cool stories about her? Kane's like, actually some. Some of the good ones were, we definitely beat her ass, he says. Elaine's like, tell me. And you see Axel and Elaine staring at him. Kane's like,
You're too far in now.
because they can be good bedtime stories since you all have school in the morning. And they're like, yeah! Yeah! They're so excited. They love hearing when Kane says, I beat up a villain. They're like, do it again! That's literally them. They just are like, they're like, you killed them? Funny.
Not the funny.
Kane says, come on. And he picks up Elaine.
She picks up Axel.
Axel's getting really big fast.
Keep doing it!
He's actually a tad taller than Elaine.
She still picks him up. She's fighting for her life, but she does it.
He's probably like the height up to like Electra's like.
Matter of fact, you know what she does?
What?
She casts Featherfall on him and then picks him up.
Axel starts giggling. He thinks it's funny. He likes it. He's like, I'm light.
She says, I am forever going to pick you up, just so we're clear.
Even when I'm older?
Yeah,
When I'm
always.
over 20?
Yep, always.
Elaine's like, haha, that's funny.
You too.
What? No, not me! Kane's like, I'll still swing you around even when you're 60. She's like, my bones will probably break and disintegrate, she says.
I don't know. I don't think that would happen. Maestro's apprentice.
Yeah, maybe I'll
you'd
get
have a lot of ways to prevent that.
Maybe I'll get special age privileges.
I'm sure you'll make yourself invaluable to Maestra, so she has to help you.
Mm-hmm. This is what Gale wish it could have been. Instead he got fucking
Groomed.
Where's my master who's tired sitting at her damn CEO desk with the like
She just needs help.
with the number one weave mom on the mug, and she just looks like she hasn't slept in 100 years.
Number one week, Mom.
My interpretation's so much funnier than fucking whatever the fuck that Mistra is.
Fuck Mistra.
We love Maestra.
Maestra.
Maestra just wants some damn help. But even her own apprentice fucking left. She's like, you're such a hoe. Basically.
You left me alone.
I think it was Saber. No, it was the god of wizards, Azuf, who was her apprentice, and then he went to go be on his own god, and she's like, bitch, I'm stuck here.
Don't leave me alone.
Don't leave me with this damn weed. Where's that Maestra? Where's my Shar that acts like she's tired all the time? Anyway, personifying the gods to like such an extreme extent is the funniest fucking thing in the world. Like, 'cause if I was a god, I think I'd be tired all the damn time.
I think I would be too. That's a big job.
Like,
You can't even sleep.
no, they don't even sleep. They just
They would
fucking
be up.
constantly give orders to their fucking followers. 24/7.
I would sleep though as a god.
I would
have some
too.
allotted sleep times.
Wars with other gods? Bitch, I'm tired trying to keep the order of my own world in
Bitch, I'm asleep.
wars. I don't got time to
You
start
trying to
wars.
reach me? I'm asleep.
I'm about to be the god of sleep. God of fucking sleeping dreams. Good fucking night, dude. Anyway, Kay was gonna tell them stories. What is Electra doing?
She tucking Axel.
Kay tucks in Elaine. And I was like, tell us a story about Professor White. You see Kane's thinking. And this was kind of a funny one. What is Electra doing?
She's just listening.
He's like, me and my crew found that Professor White had a laboratory full of really bad potions, right? It was sort of out in the middle of nowhere, but we were able to find it thanks to Tisha. And Professor White appeared to stop us, but he kind of chuckles. It was a little funny. And he says, back then, this was about the time we knew Professor White was going to be our long-term enemy, and I sort of picked up alchemy to counteract a lot of what she was doing. So, she spotted us and tried to throw one of her potions liquid at us, right? Mm-hmm. But I had a potion of my own, which I didn't know would work at the time, and I threw it at the same time she did. And when the liquids merged, a huge explosion that wasn't really harmful to us happened and covered us all in a pink dye, including Professor White.
I'm sure she hoped that.
It was a fluorescent pink dye.
Yo, glow in the dark!
So Professor White, of course, baffled by her potion being sort of nullified, tried to turn invisible, but little did I know that the fluorescent pink dye did not go invisible with her. And Elaine's like, what happened next? He says, well, Merlin threw her into her own shed of, I guess, potions, and Tisha blew it up. And they're like, hey. Though, sadly, Professor White survived that ordeal. I actually do not know how she survived that ordeal. But Tisha says that she had a Revivify scroll on her.
That would do it.
Elaine's like, we'll have to make sure that she has none of that on her.
You can't be revived if you're disintegrated.
No. And then there was
we did last time.
There was another funny one, I think, where we knew Professor White was trying to poison a king, one of the kings of the East. If he was killed, then there would have been a whole war breakout. They tend to do that a lot here. So, we found actually the drink he was going to drink with the poison in it. It was sort of a stealth mission with the two people who should not have been stealth, me and Merlin.
I was about to say.
Me and Merlin were the ones stealthing through the palace dressed up as butlers.
How'd you do?
Tisha thought it was a great idea while she was laughing the entire way.
I'm sure she did.
She was the one who told us it was a good idea. Which it was, but she also had a good laugh about it. And so, I made a potion on the spot to nullify the poison. It worked. Though, I think burping for 12 minutes straight is probably better than getting poisoned.
Yeah.
Professor White was mad enough to try to actually interfere with the whole dinner, but she instantly got stopped by the guard easily. I think that was the first time she got put in prison.
How many times did she put in prison?
5. We could never kill her properly because she was either stuck in prison or if we killed her, we'd get our heads chopped off. And we weren't necessarily the strongest party back then yet, as strong as we are now. Dean's like, you made a lot of potions.
He still does.
Dean's like, he actually thinks, and he's like, do I?
Yeah. Your tonics.
That's true.
They count.
Dean's like, why did you learn? To stop Professor White. You see Elaine looking at Kane, like, big eyes. And Axel is too. Make me a potion. Kane's like, I'm not gonna make you a potion. She's like, make me a potion. He's like, I don't even have my old kit anymore. She had no idea where it went.
You had an alchemy kit?
Mm-hmm. I used to have one, but I actually have no idea where it went.
Let's get a new one.
Axel's like, do you think Tisha might know where it went? Axel says.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have it on this timeline, would you?
Kane's like, I did have it on this time too. Still sort of I wouldn't call myself an alchemist. One's like, I don't know. Sounds like one to me.
Me too.
What?
You never want to believe anyone when they tell you the truth.
I wasn't an alchemist like Professor White.
Yeah, you were good.
Axel's like, Tisha would say otherwise.
Tisha would say otherwise.
Elaine's like, bring her here.
She already went home.
One's like, but Tisha's cool.
Tisha is cool. Tisha's really cool.
Them learning the fact about Tisha. I'll see Tisha.
Well, you can see her later, another day, when she wasn't just here.
She's just like a tantrum.
No, man. You can also just send to her.
You're so right. I'm gonna tell her to come by right now.
No! Just ask her your question.
Okay. And he's like,
What'd you do?
nothing.
Elaine?
What? I just asked her if Kane was a good alchemist.
Did you ask what his stuff was?
Yeah, that too.
What'd she say?
She's gonna message Kane in a second.
Oh.
And you.
Oh.
She said she forgot to tell Kane something.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know if she's gonna come by or just send y'all a message though.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's your cue to go to sleep.
What if she comes?
She's not. She's gonna send. Look, oh, she's sending right now. Me and Kate are both
I would sense it on you. She's such a liar.
Go to sleep.
Fine.
Or I'll cast sleep on you.
No, I don't have the HP max. Fine. Buries her face in the pillow that Kane does.
Good night. Good night, Axel.
Good night. Axel doesn't put a fight, man.
She kisses her hands.
Kane ruffles her hair, Elaine's hair, and she's like, ugh. She's like, oh. She's so funny. You walk out. It's so funny because you saw you literally see Tisha standing in the hallway. She laughed. She kind of chuckles quietly. Putting the kids to sleep, I see.
Mm-hmm.
What, they don't want to see me? She chuckles.
They do. I just didn't think you'd pop up.
Tisha says, I forgot to tell King something.
Mm-hmm.
She, like, first of all, she hits him with her staff. He's like, ow! What was that for? And he's like, I think you know what it was for. I'm sure Lecture knows what it was for.
Which part? There's a lot of things.
Is there more things you can hit him with the staff with?
I could name a list.
He hits him again. He's like, "Hell, stop." He's like, "You say you're not a good alchemist."
I knew it.
And she says, come here. I don't think Kane's exactly told you his history regarding alchemy.
No.
Though I think he can explain it perfectly fine. He pokes him in the stomach with her staff. You see him cover her stomach. He's like, "Go on, Kane. Tell her about the history that you've forgotten once again. Because your brain is sometimes, your skull is sometimes too thick like Merlin's."
Roasted.
You see Kane sulk. And she's like, "Think hard on it." And Kane says, as he thinks, and he says, "Well, back when we were first fighting Professor White, a lot of her potions were deadly, and I didn't like seeing my party get scalded and burned and experimented on with, like, temporary side effects. Sometimes even permanent side effects. So, with my knowledge about being in the war and scavenging, I started to try to practice on how to nullify a lot of Professor White's potions. And eventually, and you see Tisha says, and don't try to say you weren't that good at it. Say it as it was." Tisha says, Tisha being grandma for real. And he thinks, and he says, "And I eventually actually figured out ways to nullify every single one of her potions." Tisha nods, and he says,
"Because you're a good alchemist."
Yes, by alchemist standards, I was good. Tisha crossing her arms.
I like to cross their arms too.
I was a good alchemist.
Thank you. Not that hard to give yourself a compliment.
She says, "The one thing that's interesting is Professor White is not a magic user at all. So she relied on alchemy, which is what Kane, you exactly did too, to combat her." Kane says, "I think she got mad enough at me that I was getting as good at her as her. That's when she killed the party and kept me alive."
Oh.
Tisha says, "Because she possibly thought you were worth a lot more than our lives were."
She was jealous.
Possibly, Tisha says. She was crazy that it was honestly hard to tell what she was feeling half the time, most of the time. If she was even feeling at all. And she says, "Kane, I think it's time for you to get back into proper alchemy." And Tisha actually pulls out a suitcase. Hands it to him. And he's like, "This is my old..." Just says, "It's your old alchemy set. You thought I was gonna let that just rot there?" She says. "There's only 2 people that could nullify and even find out what Professor White's potions even do. And that's you and potentially Damaris," she says.
Yeah, I can believe that.
"But Damaris is gonna have to learn from somebody besides Professor White," she says.
This is true.
"So, you're a good option." She like bops his head with the bottom of her staff. "So open that thing up and get to work." And he's like, "Yes, Mom." And she's like, "Don't call me that.
Can't call you grandma, can't call you mom.
I am nobody's grandma or mom," she says.
Then what are you?
"I'm Tisha, a friend."
No, you're not.
Kane's like, "You act more like a mom."
See? Except your title. That was bequeathed upon you.
Bequeathed? rolls her eyes and she's kind of mumbles. She kind of mumbles under her breath. You see Kane give her a smirk. She's like, "Do not look at me like that, or I'll hit you with my staff again." And you see Kane behind you, even though he's a little taller. He like moves behind you.
No, what if you give him brain damage?
He's already got enough. He's like, "That's rude." And he's like, "With you and Merlin, I think that's quite fair to say you both have got brain damage."
I also think it's fair.
You're lucky you even have a lecturer around to make sure that skull's not as thick. He frowns. Now put your talent to use.
Yeah, King.
Don't be on her side of her abuse.
It's not abuse.
It's
She believes in you. You don't believe in yourself.
She keeps hitting me with the staff.
You deserve it because you're not listening.
Mm-hmm.
You're not believing in yourself.
And she says, "You believed in yourself when you used to do alchemy."
What's changed, King?
"I don't need alchemy till now." She's like, "Shh."
You can help so much with this alchemy.
"Mm-hmm. You can make medicines that even cured Merlin of those chicken pox." Or what is it? Hang on. I'm thinking of a D&D creature. A griffin pox. She's like, "Now start practicing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not that out of practice." It's like, okay. Good. Now back to work I go.
Come back and visit the kids.
I know, they like to pester me. Or it's like, one day I know they're gonna pester me.
If you don't come back, Elaine will go to you, I'm sure.
She's smart, that one.
Next thing you know, she'll astral project.
She already knows how to do that.
I know, that's why he's such a around you.
She chuckles. Now back to seeing what Merlin's doing so I can hit him on the head too.
He's building his grove!
I know, he told me. And so I'm gonna go back him on the head because he had a stupid idea.
What was it?
He's trying to put nudity into his druid grove.
We said no!
He's a little hyper-fixated on it. So I'm going to snap it out of him.
Good.
She teleports away. And Kane's like, she's just like a mom.
She's gonna come back and smack you again.
You just let it happen.
Yeah, because you deserve it. You're not thinking you're a good alchemist.
That's true.
And for not using it sooner.
Yeah.
You have to use all your powers.
Because I don't have darkness or hellish rebuke.
Well, no, because it's like you're fighting with two hands behind your back.
That is true. He sets down the suitcase on the table. Is she looking at it?
Mm-hmm.
And you see him like unclick the two like metal things of it. He looks at you staring. You have that smile on your face.
You should make something.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. And as soon as he opens it up, it's like almost like a kind of like a Willy Wonka looking shit where you see like it's like made perfectly, like it already like he pulls it out open and it's like a perfect alchemy set in there with like bottles and like a Bunsen, like a medieval Bunsen burner and shit like that.
She's entranced.
He's like, looks like Tisha took good care of this for me. He says, "Did you know that I made this case like this?"
No. That's cool.
You think anything I do is cool?
Yeah, I do.
Well, what
Because
do you?
it is.
What do you want me to make?
I know, surprise me. What can you make?
Well, what is something you think is interesting? I could try. A lot of practice though. He actually has advantage on medicine, by the way. I actually made him on purpose have advantage on medicine.
I don't know. I like the stars.
Do you want something you can drink or something you can look at?
Whatever you want to do.
He chuckles. He like thinks for a moment. I think I have an idea. And damn. Okay, 15. He starts getting to work. As you see him grab some stuff from the cabinets as he's thinking and everything. What is she doing?
Watching him. Like a hawk.
She's like... Kane's like... I never knew I'd have such an attentive audience as he's like getting all the stuff. Though I guess if I want an attentive audience, it'd be my wife.
Well, everything you do, I like to watch you do.
I know, and I'm glad you like everything I do. It makes me happy, he says, to know that my wife is so attentive.
You do a little bit of everything. You like a jack of all trades.
Well, I'd say the two things I'm the best at are alchemy and being a fighter, he says.
She draws him.
He says, being a fighter, I've known since birth, basically. And alchemy, I practiced for years. Even in the war, because we didn't have any resources, so we had to scavenge. So I learned what each herb and plant and thing do and what to do when you mix them together. And then when Professor White showed up, I applied that to try to do alchemy. Merlin failed miserably. I never let him near my set. He blew up his face one time.
Oh no.
He chuckles. It was really funny though.
I bet it was.
I think he was asleep for 2 days.
My god.
He wasn't as strong as he was now. I'm sure if you threw an explosive bottle at him now, he'd just still stand there naked or something.
She chuckles. How's you doing?
Yeah, you see him. He sits back down at the front of his like set as he starts to mix the herbs and like crush them up and stuff.
She watches.
And you see, it's sort of like the finished product after like all these things happen. Seems to be almost like a dark, like ichor almost in a bottle.
Whoa.
And he says, okay, this might work. Let's see. He says, swish it around.
Okay. She swishes it.
And you see that it starts to glitter and turn lighter. And then after like you look at it, and it's like stay still. It goes back to that like kind of like a dark night sky.
That's so cool.
And he says, now if I did it properly, he says, do you have a piece of cloth first?
Yeah. You pull that one.
And he says, you could dip it in there.
She dips it.
And you dip it, and it's like a dye. It comes out the color.
That's so cool.
And then if you move it and shake it, you start to see like the glitter effects start to appear. Don't drink it though. This is not drinkable, he says.
Well, yeah, it would make my insides like that. I don't want that.
You'd probably throw up after the first thing, he says.
That's cool. You should show the kids when they wake up in the morning.
Okay, and he corks it as he places it on the table.
It's so cool.
You think I'm always cool. But I think you're cooler. He chuckles.
She glares at him.
What?
Nothing.
My beautiful wife.
If you say so.
If I say so. Do you not think you're beautiful?
Oh, well, you can't compliment yourself, so I certainly can't compliment myself.
He frowns. Well, then I guess I'll have to make it up by complimenting you all the time.
But I suppose I'll have to do the same.
I wouldn't mind that.
She chuckles.
I am worried though, but that's just normal, isn't it?
About?
Well, about Alexius and Professor White
Mm-hmm.
and what they could do. But that's normal.
Yeah.
I don't really like thinking about. We had funny things, as I told the kids, because they were funny. Now I think about things, but
Was it all funny?
there's things that were not
Yeah.
fun to deal with.
I know. I remember her.
I know. We fought her for years. It was like in its own right a war.
Mm-hmm. This won't be.
This won't be. Plus, as long as I keep practicing alchemy, I could find a way if something were to happen to us to cure us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Guess maybe I'll have to start teaching to Mars, though I don't know if I can handle his bombardment of questions.
I'll help facilitate.
I was actually gonna say if you could be there.
Of course. Especially with him being a little on edge, we'll say.
He nods. Is there anything else you want me to make?
No, I think we can make more in the morning with the kids.
I could make you a candy.
You can make candy.
He can casually walk up. He's like, yeah, I think I can actually make. Nat 20. Jesus Christ. I can make something that Merlin actually. Well, actually. Tisha will never admit this, but she loved it when I made this. She'd steal it from my bag every night.
She chuckles.
It's a quick, easy thing.
Mm-hmm. She watches.
And he makes it takes a little bit to make, but he makes like almost like a gummy.
Ooh.
And it's not like completely hardened yet, but it's hardened enough where you can pick it up.
She picks it up.
He says, try it.
He tried it.
It tastes like really sour at first, but then you feel like a nice sweetness come about.
Sour Patch Kids.
More like a warhead. I love.
Oh, fuck no.
I'm just kidding.
Keep that.
Nah, it's,
You like warheads?
I love warheads.
Keep that.
It like hurts and then it
No,
tastes
you
so
keep
good.
that. You
I
keep warheads.
I love warheads.
I can't do those.
It's so sour at the start. It's like fucking, but then it's like, sweet.
No.
You're so funny.
Uh-uh.
I love sour shit. It's so good.
I like sour shit too. Not warheads.
Not warheads.
No.
We must. Then those are our opinions. If you ever get a warhead, I'll eat it for you. Basically.
Okay.
That's the deal.
I don't mind the lemon heads though.
I don't mind them. I love lemon heads too. Yeah. If you ever have a warhead, give it to me. It's like how I give you my pickles. I don't like pickles, so you can have them.
I don't mind warheads, but I wouldn't say I love them. Like, I don't hate them, but I wouldn't say I love them.
They're good. So good for me for tax season. It's like a drug. Every other, but anything else, like if I'm not like
it's the only time you can feel.
yeah, it's like off topic, but like off topic of DnD. It's like this. I can't like me. If I don't want a warhead when I'm not at work, but like when I'm at work, I'm like, ooh, a warhead.
It's the only time you can feel amongst the numbers.
Yeah, but if you give me like a warhead now, I'd probably be like, I'll just save it for later. But like at work, I'm like, warhead. Anyway, but Kane basically makes a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
He chuckles.
I like it.
I knew you'd like it.
I like sour stuff.
I know you do. You told me one time.
I'm not as tolerant to it though, so I have to take it in small doses, but that doesn't stop me.
Remember that time where I gave you a whole bag of sour stuff on our second year and you looked at me like I was crazy?
No. Why would I ever look at you like you're crazy?
He thought I was poison again. He chuckles.
What are you talking about?
What, when you hesitantly took it from me?
I wasn't hesitant. You're just remembering things wrong.
No, everything's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you kept observing each candy.
You're just remembering wrong.
Okay, well then tell me how it went down, since I have a thick skull, he says.
I was just really enjoying the candy. So I had to savor every aspect of it, obviously.
Mm-hmm. You were adorable.
I can't stand this bullying.
Bullying? Why am I
This is harassment.
Because I love you so much?
Yes,
Because you're my whole world?
maybe.
Because I just want to hold you tight
Perhaps.
and never let go?
You're ridiculous.
I've always been ridiculous.
I know, since day one. On both timelines.
Can't help that I love you so much. Just giving you a coy smile.
You're ridiculous. Truly.
Want me to stop being ridiculous?
No, because then you wouldn't be Kane.
You chuckles. But I'm ridiculous. Is that a bad thing?
No. Do you think it's a bad thing?
I don't know. Do you think it's a bad thing?
No.
He chuckles. Then it's not a bad thing. I'm ridiculous then.
Good.
He picks you up.
She stares at him.
Time to go to bed. What, do you want to stay up longer?
No,
So you can look at me longer?
maybe.
We can look at each other longer.
I don't want to go to sleep.
We don't have to go to sleep.
Yes, you do.
You don't want to go to sleep.
I don't want to.
Then we don't have to.
What if something bad happens?
Well, nothing bad will happen. We've got a lot of allies here, remember?
But he can talk to us in our heads.
In a
our
room.
dreams.
In a room where we don't have to respond to him. Just like we talked about, right? With the training with Elliot.
But what if he changes the room?
To,
I don't know, something else.
like,
Oh,
you don't have to sleep, Electra. You stay up.
you'll stay up then.
Hmm?
You'll stay up if I stay up.
Well, of course I will.
And I have to go to sleep.
Because I worry about you.
Mm-hmm.
The fact you won't sleep,
Mm-hmm.
like I always do.
That's why I have to.
I know, but you don't want to. We can stay up longer.
Mm-mm.
We'll sleep later so that he wouldn't be able to catch us with the machine.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
We'll stay up till 6 a.m.
What if he catches someone else? What if he's talking to them?
Well, do you trust our family members?
I
Do
do.
you trust you? Do
Mm-hmm.
you trust me? I
Mm-hmm.
know Zool's a bit finicky right now, but we can trust the others. That they're handling it very well.
I'm just worried.
I know, and I'm worried too. But not sleeping is not going to help us, he says.
It's taking so long.
I know. He wants us to be anxious, I'm sure.
She sighs.
He looks at her,
What?
just looking at you. He rubs her head.
That's not fair.
I can't rub your head.
You can.
Imagine you stopped as soon as you said that's not fair. No, it's not fair, so I'm gonna rub your head. Instead I'll do this. He just starts nuzzling into you with his beard.
Hey.
What?
I said we needed to sleep.
But You said you didn't want to.
I don't want to, but you need to sleep.
You need to sleep too.
Yeah, but he's not gonna hop in your head.
He sighs.
I don't like not knowing.
I don't like not knowing either. Maybe we could stay up as I try to practice alchemy still.
No, you need to go to sleep. What if something bad happens tomorrow? We're both asleep.
King sighs. Then we both stay up.
No. You have to go to sleep.
But you're not gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
But you're worried, like really
I
bad.
am worried.
You worry really bad, Electron. I know when you worry really bad, you do not sleep.
I try.
I know, but you don't sleep even if you try. Mm-hmm.
What else am I supposed to do?
Listen to my heartbeat.
Feelings are head on his chest.
I know I can't really help you much in your worry, Electra. But I promise I'll be here even if Alexius hops into either of our heads. We're still going to be here. And it sounds like he really can't do that much to us anyway. Besides talk.
Yeah.
Especially with the example we've given from Zool. Could have just blasted Mikkel or Zool.
Yeah.
But it seems all he could do is talk.
I'm just anxious.
I'm anxious too. Not sleeping is not going to help us either.
I know. I just want to talk to him.
Don't talk to him if he shows up.
I'm really bad at that.
He chuckles and he says, but you know not to expose anything crazy.
Obviously.
All he's going to do is just be patronizing.
I also don't know what he's gonna do.
Either. But we'll slowly figure it out.
Fine. I'm trying to go to sleep.
You first.
It's not fair.
You start rubbing your head.
Mm.
I'll even start to sing to you.
She pouts.
Or hum to you, I should say.
She pouts.
He gives a kiss on her head.
Mm.
He starts humming to her.
She eventually falls asleep.
You're in a room. I'm just kidding, no.
Fucking hilarious.
No, it's not.
You're in a room.
That's gonna be my intro for every time he talks to you.
He hasn't talked to her except for one.
Yeah, because he made an analysis.
Oh.
Yeah.